6 more's the call as well from the referee here, with Manly right on the attack. That was a loose pass from the Cowboys, and now Manly through Ben Trbojevic on the left edge, taken 15 from the line and 15 in from that left-hand side. Brooks back to right and centre field through Jake Trbojevic onto Hetherington, who put on a step, almost weaved past Tomalolo and Hess, but they got him. Played to Wake and pass left. Brooks dummies and straightens, got past one, passes to the edge, and an easy try for Hopewadi in the left corner for Manly. And the Seagulls strike first in Townsville. Off the back of a Cowboys mistake, Manly get to the attacking end, and Lehigh Hopewadi scores for the Seagulls, who lead at 4-0, kick to come after 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys really needed that 6 to go purely to regroup, and I tell you what, it was fingernail stuff there from Jackson Purdue to hold on. Just shows the speed that he possesses. But in the end, the Cowboys over-defended there. When you look at Braden Burns pulling in there and jumping in, he really needed to hold his width. He had numbers there, and they over-defended what was there as an opportunity to shut down. And through too many numbers at the edge, it was solvable. It was a challenge, but it's all off the back of an intercept that occurred some 60 metres diagonally, or 70 metres diagonally down the field.
Down to Lockie Coote on the touchline.
Yeah, Cliffo will be disappointed with that intercept pass there. I think usually midfield you see the teams backing off, but yeah, it was good to see Manly put the pressure on early and then obviously get that intercept. But yeah, Tommy did, and if he didn't take that dummy, I'm sure they would have probably stopped that try.
So Lehigh Hopewadi now has 4 tries for the season. Jamal Fogarty will try and convert a couple of metres in from touch on the left. 25 metres out. He's 21 of 27 early in the 2026 campaign, and that's a good strike on his right boot, but he's pushed it across the face. No conversion. It's Manly Warringah 4, leading North Queensland 0. I'm Quentin Hull. You're listening to NRL Thursday on ABC Sport with your analysts, first ever Cowboys coach Grant Bell and premiership winning fullback Lockie Coote down on the touchline. 0467 920 222 is the SMS number to get in touch. Around the grounds in the AFL, getting close to quarter time. Collingwood 2-4-16 leading Carlton 1-3-9.
Quentin, just while we're waiting for the kickoff, there's some turf being lifted up already when we have a look at the right-hand corners at both ends of the field. Something to keep an eye on.
It has been a feature of the condition of the field, and the third trip to Townsville already this year, and I've certainly noticed it in the earlier games as well, as Hetherington takes the ball forward off the kickoff. Only 5 beyond the Manly goal line. Now Olakau'atu, he's met solidly. Good defence there from O'Donnell out of the line. Blindside right given to Garrick, who just gets over the 20 there. O'Donnell there with Hess to make the tackle. Manly working their way upfield. Seagulls strike first in the north as Paseka rolls through the tackle of Cotter. Got to the 40 before being stopped by O'Donnell. Played to Wake and given left. Jake Trbojevic on to Brooks. Holds his pass. Oh, there's a penalty. Obstruction. A penalty to North Queensland. Manly running an obstruction line there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they were very lucky there, the Cowboys. Braden Burns found himself well forward again. In a similar way to what he did when the try was scored, just take himself forward. It's obviously something that they're looking to try and get forward and shut down Tommy Trbojevic. We saw him do that early on. But when they're playing flat, it's giving them an opportunity, the Manly side.
Cowboys fine touch 20 metres out. So first chance for North Queensland to really set up and have a crack at the Manly line as Lukey takes the first hit up, but he's pushed back by Trbojevic brothers of Ben and Jake. Plays it about 15 out. Couple of sets of hands to centre field for the settling run of Tomalolo. A dozen metres out, JT. Plays it there. Luke passes left for Drinkwater. Second man Clifford runs at the line, goes himself, tries to get through Fogarty's tackle. He hung on long enough for Tommy Turbo to help him, and Clifford tackled 2 metres out. Plays the ball. Purdue passes right in centre field through Drinkwater to Dearden, now given to the straightener of Tomalolo. There's 3 around him, and JT 8 metres out just to the left of the uprights when stopped. Luke passes right for Dearden, gives it onto the flat line of Hess. Good read in defence though from Brooks and Ben Trbojevic. Stop him 7 metres out. Last play Cowboys, they run run it to the blindside right. Drinkwater's grubber is just too hot for the flying Chester. He dived, Tommy Chester, but the dead ball line beat him in his pursuit for the Steeton. So out to the 20-metre line for a 7-tackle set for Mandy Warringah. The Seagulls lead at 4-0, and we've played 8.5 minutes in Townsville.
Yeah, the option was good there, but it was just that end-over-end rolling kick. He really needed to just the soft shoe push to push the ball in. Tommy Chester flying as he tried to back up that kick.
And already Manly 10 from halfway. 7 tackles in this set. Garrick plays it on 3. Now Jake Trebojevic rolling down the middle third, taken down low by Tamalolo. About 600 games of experience between those two guys. There's now Tommy Turbo down the middle. Tom Trebojevic taken centre field, 32 out. Last play for Manly. Pass to the right for a Fogarty bomb. It'll come down about 10 metres out. Saab's there, catches it, and Labert let him catch it and wanted to tackle him straight away, and that worked in the end for Zach Labert. Good defensive play in that left corner, and it's a handover, and the Cowboys get the ball. Oh, Labert with a run infield, crashed into by Jake Trebojevic and Olakau'atu. Cowboys on the 10, big 20-metre pass to centre field from Drinkwater to try and break the congestion there. It was okay and caught there by Burns, but he's tackled. Now Dearden running in the middle third. Cowboys aren't getting much upfield here. Dearden only 22 out as he plays it there. Purdue passes to Drinkwater, given to another. So lateral run, and the ball's been lost. Ball's been dropped on that run from Chester. Picked up by Olakau'atu, and he's tackled only 22 out. So the Cowboys were going nowhere. Left and right laterally. They lose the ball, and now Manly on the attack. Left edge shift for Kohler. He passes to Hopewadi. Hopewadi goes for the corner, and he's dragged himself in. Has he scored? Let's tune in to referee Sutton.
No try. Confirm that the ball always stays short, and look to see that he retains possession.
He was very close to going over for a double.
I thought he'd been dragged over there.
Contact by Braden Burns has been cleared.
Well,
geez, Burns has done exceptionally
There's
well.
momentum in the tackle. We just need to determine if the ball is grounded and he maintains possession.
it's the voice of Wyatt Raymond in the bunker. So called earlier in the set that the Cowboys weren't really going anywhere. Drinkwater tried to break it
Just
up.
reviewing all available angles here with a live decision of short.
So he's been grabbed by the collar, and then, yeah, if the ball...
Right arm underneath.
Gee, now we're getting an angle we can't see the ball. I'm looking through the back of Lehigh.
At this stage, on all available angles, we don't have a grounding, and Lehigh remains in the field of play. The tackle now is complete in the field of play short of the goal line. We have a decision.
Also,
Burns has done exceptionally well there to check the centre and then follow across to the winger, and they were really spread on that, Quentin.
so that's no try, and tackle one. So,
Some pressure on.
yep, Manly get the chance to set up. Oh, Hetherington drops the ball. Goes to the middle of the field, and Kobe Hetherington put it under his right wing, and it pops out immediately. That's the roar of the crowd here. So a let off for the Cowboys on that handling error from the first year Manly forward. 11 minutes played in Townsville. Seagulls lead at 4 points to nil on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. On the SMS, g'day to Bill, the taxi driver in Brisbane. Go Manly, see, not everyone hates you. Thank you, Billy, driving the taxi. 0467 920 222 is a text from Townsville Seagull. Opinion: this surface is shocking. Ankle and knee breaker. NRL should investigate the surface. I don't know whether it's to that extent, but yeah, there's certainly a few players, their boots going through the top. Thank you. 0467 920 222. Ping for the Cowboys to get a fresh set here and try and get out of their own half on a ruck infringement. Played by Cotter. Now to the right, Tomalolo to Dearden. Onto the right edge for Lukey, but he's cut down. Brooks around his ankles, and up top, Kohler makes the tackle. Now Drinkwater passes right. Dearden's ball almost put Chester through a hole. It was a bit suspect. I think it was lucky not to be called forward. Is that your murmurings there, Grant?
Oh, yes, it was.
Yes, I thought so. Cowboys get a rub of the green there. Now towards left and centre field. O'Donnell's taken down. That's 5. Cowboys 35 from the Manly line. Clifford chips at the end of the set. Tom Trebojevic, well placed, catches at 8 from his own line. line, runs into the defensive brigade and takes the tackle, and Manly will start this set 15 metres from their own line as Fogarty gets bent to dummy half there. Passes infield to Saab, and the winger runs over the 20 before being stopped midway goal line and halfway. Fogarty now off his right shoulder to Garrick, and Ruben Garrick, give him 7 or 8 as well on the game. Right edge, about 15 inside Manly territory as the Seagulls in that away strip white with the horizontal maroon stripes and maroon shorts and maroon socks on the run there of Hopewadi almost to halfway. Now Trebojevic 5 metres attacking side of halfway when tackled. That's Tom, and watch out, that left leg is no good. Oh, not again for Tommy Turbo. And immediately the Manly fans are signalling, Manly players are signalling to the bench that Trebojevic may have done yet another injury to those legs, which are so good when they're fit, yet so often fail him.
Yeah, there seemed nothing in the tackle. I just wanted to see the replay to make sure there was no slowdown. Certainly, as you said, one of our text lines talked about the softness of the ground. I don't think that's the case there.
And his boots didn't go through the surface there. He just... Yeah,
he's no good.
Now, Lockie, Coot, down to you on the touchline.
He's definitely coming off. He just tested the right leg with hamstring test strength, and then couldn't even do the left one. So he knows he's done.
Hashtag not a doctor. It looks left hamstring. Are we going there?
Left hamstring, I'd say.
Yeah, okay. I think so. You might see what you can find out from the bench if you're giving anything away when you get a chance.
But for a man of his frustration and knowledge of soft tissue injuries, he's probably got it diagnosed and knows how long he's missing already, Tommy Turbo, unfortunately. So Tom Trebojevic off. He's only lasted 12 and a half minutes in Townsville. That's a big blow for the game and for Manly and for footy fans in general. He is a star. Fogarty bombs at the end of the set. It's caught by Drinkwater, 5 from the Cowboys line. Runs laterally infield before being taken. And North Queensland's got the footy, but they're deep at the southern end. Cliffords in there at dummy half. Passes to the one-man run of Burns. Up to the 10 before taken down by Hetherington. Now Chester. He loves a charge forward, and they're offside, Manly. Penalty goes to North Queensland. So Manly offside.
He has come on in the fullback role there.
Red V from Brisbane text, by the way.
Is that Cole or push back at the back there?
Yeah, I think he has gone. So
Cole has gone back there.
Left centre.
Yeah, Red V from Brisbane text. Good thing Tommy T's not a horse. Yeah. Unfortunately, lame too often. Now, we're going to get a independent bunker here, are we?
Ball on the field.
Oh, no, second ball. Okay. So, Cowboys have got it on halfway. Manly lead the game 4-0. And now we're back underway with Tamalolo rumbling down the middle third. He's averaged up to 170 metres a game so far this season, much higher than the last few years. Left edge run from Clifford on a dummy and straightened, but taken down by the defence, and Clifford will play it. 20 in from touch on the left and 31 metres out. Oh, Luke's pass is knocked on by Cotter. It was a bit hot, it was a bit high, but you could have caught that. Now down to you again, Lockie Coote in the touchline. We were wondering about the humidity and the slippery soapness, if I invent a word there. How's the slippery soapness of the Steedon?
Mate, very slippery by the looks of things. There's been a few errors now, and yes, you're right about the surface. There's patches everywhere. Boys are slipping over. Maybe that didn't help Tommy Turbo's hamstring there. And can confirm, I think that's Clayton, number 19, gone on left centre.
Clayton for Lalo is into the game for Manly. Lockie Coote down on the touchline, and there he is with the carry. Good work, Lockie. Falalo in jumper 19. Plays at 15 from halfway. Quentin Hull and Grant Bell in the box in Townsville. 4-0 early on to Manly, approaching 15 minutes played as Ben Trebojevic gets to halfway left edge. Plays the ball there to Waken, given to blindside to Brooks. He then on to Falalo, but he's met by 3 Cowboys and just stays in the field of play on a tackle which dragged him close to the whitewash out there. Back to right and centre field. Brooks onto Jake Trebojevic. Now Paseka backs his way into the fence. Taken down 29 metres from the goal line. To the right, Wakem gives it through Fogarty to Brooks onto Olakauatu. Clifford's got his ankles. Did enough to stop him with some help from Tamalolo. Played on 5, 15 out. Manly blindside on the last. They run off. Fogarty's pass is being knocked on by Garrick. Slammed out of his pecs. and he couldn't catch it. So it's obviously a pretty hard footy to hold out there. Very humid conditions. That being said, Grant Bell, you know what it's like in the coach's box. Gnashing of teeth aplenty for the errors early on here as the Cowboys up to the 20 through Purdue.
For both teams,
he's lost the ball there. Hold on. Manly left edge. Falolo's picked it up. He's reeled in, though, by the tackle of Burns. So another lost ball there. Must be really hard to hold on to. And Manly back on the attack on that lost ball. Play 2 from the Cowboys. So now Jake Trbojevic down the middle third and taken. 18 metres from the goal line. Plays the ball to Wake and passes right for Fogarty. Looks right, passes left for Kohler. Running in the middle third, trying to spin out of tackles. But Cotter and Tomalolo put him down. Kohler plays it middle of the park. Fogarty receives on the right. Pops it up for Olakau'atu. Not great momentum in that infield line. So he stands and has 3 defenders around him. Olakau'atu plays it only 3 metres out for Manly. Wakeham back to the left. Hetherington. Well, he looked left, didn't like it, had to run himself, and it's pretty easy pickings by the defence. Players looking tired already here. We're only 17 minutes in. Brooks passes to Benro BK15. Flops it out the back to Kohler. Kohler is tackled. Only a couple of metres from the goal line out on the left. Last play coming up blindside. Wakeham to Brooks. Pass to Falolo. Pass to the edge. Catch and touchdown for Hopewadi for a double. Easy as you like. Let the ball do the work. Slick hands to the left edge. And Lehigh Hopewadi was basically standing on the goal line. Only need to catch it and touchdown. And that he has done for a double. And Manly Warringah lead the game 8 points to 0 with a conversion to come.
Yeah, it comes back to another very simple error early on in the set. I think tackle 2 it was when Tommy Chester lost the football. But the Cowboys are giving too much field position away, and certainly the war of attrition. It's interesting. We'll talk some about the stats at half time, but Manly at the moment are controlling the field. Their outside backs, the number of metres that they're running, their involvement early on is really giving them something to play with. And certainly the Cowboys' defensive structure on that right edge is seeing Brayden Burns finding himself out of play between he and the rest of that right edge defence. It's not looking like they really know what's going on amongst them. Again, Tommy Dearden was caught out. His centre in Chester jumped in, and it really left them in all sorts of strife on that left-hand edge.
Down to Lockie Coote on the touchline.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that Trbojevic injury has affected them too much. They look nice and steadied. Obviously, Kohler's slotted in nice there at the back there. But, yeah, it's going to be a costly night if you're going to make some errors. And I think the team that holds onto the ball most is going to win this game.
Fogarty had a sighter from out on that left wing touchline. Pushed the first one across the face, so a little bit of an adjustment required to see if he can convert Lehigh Hopewadi's second try. Fogarty with the right boot, strikes, makes the correction, kicks the goal, and Manly Warringah lead North Queensland by 10 points to 0 with 22 minutes remaining in the first half here on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport in Townsville. On the SMS, Kirk from Townsville texts, I just felt a disturbance in the force. Like every Manly fan just screamed, no, at the same time with that injury to Tom Trbojevic. Yeah, it's too familiar, isn't it? Thanks for that. 0467 920 222. G'day Q, Cam from Carlo here. They just showed Foz in the Manly box on the telly. Is he the guy from Donnie Darko? He's next to us. I don't really know Donnie Darko.
No, I don't know.
No, okay. So thanks for the text, Cam. But
not on the ABC. I don't see him.
No, but if there is a lookalike, if there is a doppelganger here, I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, they can send us a picture through.
Yeah.
Text one through.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's good work, Belly. Second play, Manly up to the 20 off the kickoff. The second plays it there to Wakeham. Now Jake Trbojevic dummies and straightens. You know, how many times has he been out there and seen his brother go off? Like all those little things that you just know is a part of brotherly love. But, you know, Jake would have seen Tom limp off so many times. You know, and then you think of Tom watching Jake go off off, concussed or whatever. Yeah, all that type of stuff. It's not just footy when you got family connections out there. And lost ball here on the run from Hetherington. That's another loose carry from the ex-Bronco. Cowboys have got it out in the right. Oh, Chester's lost it going to ground in a two-man tackle.
No advantage.
No advantage.
Just while we're in this break, we just had confirmation that Tommy Turbo, has done a hamstring and won't be back tonight.
Yeah, okay. So, well done, Lachlan Coote down on the touchline. Neil texts, unfortunately, it's become predictable that Tom will be out with a serious injury during the NRL season. It's a sad thing for the Manly community. I think it's just sad for footy.
Yeah.
In general, Neil.
A player as great as he is, and you just love watching him play. And he doesn't fit that little nimble fullback that we were talking about.
Yeah.
He's got the long lope on him, and he's a wonderful player to watch.
20 minutes play, 20 to go in this first half. Manly lead 10-0 off that era, the earlier era. Cowboys have won that scrum. Second play of the set, Purdue running laterally on halfway. Ben Trbojevic tries to reel him in, but Paseka does the job. Puts him down one-on-one, 42 metres out in centre field. Luke's in at dummy half. Reed Marnie out of this game under the HIA protocol, so a start for Sonny Luke, directs it left for Cotter. Almost loses his shorts as he gets to the 30. Gets up and plays it. It's no wardrobe drama whatsoever. Right side ship. Drinkwater to Chester. Out to the edge for Burns, who steps infield, gets taken down out there by Hobbawati and Brooks. Played there to Chester. Passes infield to Drinkwater. Pops it up to Dearden, centre of the park. Gives it left for Clifford. He kicks for the in-goal area. Saab has a fumble that cleans up his own murk. Has to go into the in-goal area to do so, though. And is tackled in the in-goal area. And it's out now for a goal line dropout. It was interesting. Saab was sort of just in the field of play. Clifford's kick sort of went through his hands at shoulder height, and they went backwards. And Saab then had to clean it up. It must be so slippery, that ball.
Yeah, we're seeing regulation catches and regulation carries where the ball is just going through hands and coming out.
Fogarty with a long dropout. Bit of a wobbler, 40 on the fly. Taken on the hop by Clifford, who gives it to Tomalolo. Great tackle, Jake Trbojevic. Textbook underneath him. Oh, how's that? 292 games of experience, running into 247 games of experience. Great run, great tackle, great footy as the Cowboys set up on attack again. Manly leading 10-0 as Cotter backs his way into the defence, takes the tackle of 15 out, pass to the right now, Dearden at the line, puts Hess through a hole. He slips through a couple of tackles, and the big boy from Bundy goes in for the Cowboys' first try of the night. And by slips, not just a turn of phrase, there's a descriptive nature of it as well. You get a big boy running that hard, 8 metres from the line on a night where it's Wettsville, not just Townsville, and it's very hard to stop from there. 10-4 kick to come.
Yeah, it was a quality ball, but it was also a great line. Yeah, a really late change of direction there, and Hess brought himself into the space and found the hole, and he certainly relied on Tommy Dearden to feed him the ball there. But it was a beautiful line and a good try and a good hit back from the Cowboys, again off the back of errors from Manly in this instance, and both teams really being seen to pay the price of errors. Interestingly, at the moment, Manly enjoying 62% of the ball, so there's certainly been some time in possession for the Manly side to control the game and the direction of the game.
I think he got through both Trbojevic brothers there. Yeah. He beat Jake on the left and Ben on the right. So straight through the family front door of the remaining Trbojevics on the field for Cohen Hess's first try of the season. Jake Clifford will try and convert from straight in front. Approaches, strikes truly, flags raised. Manly Warringah 10, leading North Queensland 6, NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. And on our way down to Lockie Coote around the grounds in the AFL midway through the second quarter. Carlton 5-4-34 lead Collingwood 2-4-16. Lachlan Coote on the touchline.
Yeah, just noticed Cohen Hess can sit down and take a rest after that try. Awesome effort there. And Jason Tamalolo has come off the field as well, with Griffin Mean and Thomas McKaylee have taken the positions at front row there.
Good work, Lockie.
You reckon the distance of the run took it out of him, Lockie?
Well, it's 17 minutes to go. I think that's a good stint for how hot it is up here.
G'day to Ron at Forso, who says, how good's ABC Rapid? Give the TV commentary the flick and turn on you guys. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, if you're not aware of what that is, that's a relatively new on ABC Listen. It's basically a function which gets the commentary closer to the action than ever before. It does sync up pretty well with the TV pictures. Thanks, Ron. So try it. ABC Rapid. Neem with the first carry off the kickoff. 15 metres into the field of play. Now second carry taken forward by Lukey. Third play, it's McKaylee, who's met by Jake Trbojevic and put down. Thomas McKaylee had a really big game.
He's made such a difference to the Cowboys since he's been back from that injury.
Yes, he's played so well at the back end in Lang Park last week. O'Donnell next carry is a dozen from halfway. Now Drinkwater decides to have a run. They pass to the right. Did and gives it to Chester, who beats Hopewadi. Came in. Chester over halfway. He's slick. Falalo drags him down from behind. Chester gets up, keeps going, slips the tackle to Brooks. Brooks comes again, bulldogs him to deck, rips the ball from him as well. One-on-one strip, made a tackle. Brooks gets the ball. What a play from Luke Brooks. And after all of that, Manly's now got the ball 25 from their own line.
Yeah, again, and I think that's the third error now from Tommy Chester. He won't be happy with that, but great work from Luke Brooks to steal the ball after a great run from Chester.
15 and a half minutes to the break. Manly lead 10-4. Manly with the football as Corey Waddell's out there for the Seagulls. He's taken 45 metres from the goal line centre field. Wakeham directs it left. It's the end of the set. And Brooks puts up a high kick for Manly. Will come down 10 metres from the goal line, taken by Drinkwater and given on to Burns, who's tackled 22 from the goal line. Now, Donnie Darko is a character played by Jake Gyllenhaal. So there you go. I know you know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. Billy, we're getting a few from the movie of the same name, Donnie Darko. Okay.
Thanks for that.
Takiaho, sorry to interrupt. Takiaho is also on the field as well.
So, great to see him back, Lockie. Yeah, from his calf injury. Siwa Takiaho, who has been activated. Cowboys, though, on the attack. Out of dummy half. Luke goes on a scurry. Runs into Olakauatu, who makes the tackle. Only 19 metres out in centre field. Last play for the Cowboys. Dearden directs it left to Clifford. Give it to Drinkwater. Runs at the line. Give it to O'Donnell. Nice play. Garrick come in from his right side defensive position. Makes the tackle, and there was a little mishandle there anyway. So a knock on at the end of the set, or a loose carry from Kai O'Donnell, and Manly survive. And with 14 and a half minutes to the break, it's 2-1 tries to Manly, 10-6 the scoreline in favour of the Seagulls, who are unbeaten under Kieran Foran, but of course went 3 games winless before Anthony Seibold got the sack. Bowler down the middle third, midway halfway in goal line, Billy.
Jake Trbojevic been down and behind play. Indication is to come off for a head.
Oh no! So this is double disaster. We've got one Trbojevic with a chronic issue, hamstring for Tom. Now head injury assessment for the helmeted Jake Trbojevic. And that shift in the force has gone, no, again there's been another shift in the force from that text we had. Anyway, Manly's on the attack. Where's the footy? 35 from the goal line. They're attacking. Brooks bombs at the end of the set. Oh, there's a couple of players near it. It ends up in Cotter's hands, and the referee says penalty to Manly, who came off late, but into Cotter's hands offside. So, quickly, lockdown to you. JT going past you, the other JT.
Yeah, he's just come off the field, and Jake Simpkins has gone on as 14. Very disappointed for the Trbojevics tonight.
Oh, dear.
I was going to make a comment about him, and I'll talk about him at half time, because he's done so many little things out there that have helped the Manly side tonight, and one of them leading to a try just in his defensive efforts. But we'll talk about those at half time.
Yeah, good first stint from Jake tonight. Just terrible to see him off. Anyway, Tokiaho takes Manly forward. They lead the game. They've got the footy. They're 10 metres out now. Left side exploration. Fogarty to Brooks gives it to the remaining Trbojevic on the field. Ben on the inside line. Taken 10 to the left of the uprights, 5 metres out, and there's a ruck infringement. So a wavy fisty and another set coming up for Manly. Wakeham to the right to Fogarty. Gives it to Olakau'atu. He crashes to deck under the tackle there of Labour, only a couple of metres out. That pass from dummy half from Simpkin looked suspect. Rep lets it go. Defence is there and makes the tackle on Tokiaho anyway. Now Waddell out of dummy, Simpkin out of dummy half, tries to crash through. He can't. He's a metre from the goal line. Played to Wakeham. Pass left and centre field. Fogarty grubber for the in-goal area. Ben Trbojevic scores. He's on the end of it. Oh, what a story rugby league can bring you at times. Tom off hamstrung, Jake off concussed potentially, but Ben scores. Family Trbojevic is having quite the time in Townsville, and Manly extends its lead to 14-6 with a kick to come. Looking pensively at your notes, Billy. What to say about that?
I just think, again, it's weight of possession, it's opportunity, and Manly have made the most of it. They've certainly had plenty of possession, but I think that with the possession they've had, their outside backs, the metres they've run, the distance they've taken themselves down the back, and then it was a very deft kick. We've seen a couple of kicks from the Cowboys that have just been too hard, too firm, and beating the player to the dead ball line, taking them out of play. And in this instance, they seem to be having an extra look at it.
There's a few boos from the crowd.
Yeah, it's, I wouldn't be surprised if something doesn't go upstairs here. The extra looks that they're having.
Jared Sutton seems to be walking away from the kicking tee, and Tommy Dearden's going to have a chat. No, not much in that. Jamal Fogarty's getting ready to convert, so it'll stand.
Yep, it looks like it's there. So, just weight of possession, but it was a terrific little kick from Fogarty to put it in there and just sit it so comfortably, and that's one of the key areas that he was brought to the club for.
So Jamal Fogarty, this is point blank range for him. Crowd don't like it, but we're in Cowtown. Of course they're not going to like it if the opposition score. Fogarty approaches and knocks the ball through the H-pole into the second tier of the stands at the southern end, and Manly Warringah extends its lead. The Seagulls 16 leading the Cowboys 6. I'm Quentin Hull. You're with NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Grant Bell alongside me, Lockie Coote down on the touchline. You can get in touch on 0467 920 222 on the SMS. Get around the grounds of the AFL. Late second quarter, Carlton 6-4-40 lead Collingwood 2-7-19. So we'll get further word from downstairs when it comes to hand about Jake Trbojevic off. But if you are just tuning in, 15 minutes into the game, Tom Trbojevic off with what looks like a left hamstring injury, the severity of which will come to light as it gets looked at. Clifford with a very deep restart, right to the dead ball line. Brooks catches it and hands it off. First carry gets a couple of metres into the field of play from Corey Waddell. So Manly working their way upfield. Tokiaho carry 2, still on the 10. Centre field as Simpkin passes right to the edge for Olakau'atu, but he's got 3 defenders around him. Olakau'atu to the red stripe of the 20. Blindside, Simpkin gives it through Fogarty onto Garrick, hits the line hard. He's dragged down though by the tackle of Labour. 10 in from touch on the right, 15 from halfway. Manly back to left and centre field through their hands. Waddell onto Brooks, now left edge. Kohler spins out of a tackle of 1. He's going to be dragged down by Lukey, and Kohler will play it on 5, 10 in from touch on the left, 5 inside Manly territory. The last play is a tumbling right foot kick downfield from Fogarty, pretty much straight to Drinkwater. Goes to a genuflecting knee to catch. Gets up and runs back towards the 30. Stopped a couple of metres short thereof. And the Cowboys have possession about 26 metres from their own line. Chester with a one out run, but can't really get through there. Good defence from Olakau'atu. Dearden's in it, distributed there. Gives it on to Purdue. And he only makes 3 or 4 metres. Stopped 11 his own side of halfway. Plays the ball to Luke. Given to the right through McKaylee to Dearden. Overlap on the right. Pass gets to Burns. Hopewadi slides. Makes the tackle. Oh, it's chucked back into the field of play. when Burns was going over the touchline under the tackle, but I think the flag's gone up before the ball was chucked in.
Yeah, and either way, it went forward, certainly, as he... he did release the ball, I think, before he went into touch, nonetheless. The touch judge has raised the flag, so it will go the way of Manly, and I think it would have anyway.
And even though it's not wet and there's no pools of water in as far as rain as anything, those touchlines are skinnier tonight, aren't they, Lockie Coote, down on the touchline because of the humidity and the slippiness out there?
They are. It's almost like wet conditions almost. Obviously, I'm not getting wet, but thank God. But it's definitely wet down here and greasy conditions. It's disappointing to see that the desperate footy there from the Cowboys. I think they just need to kick it into the corners and just get it to the end of the half. It seems like they're playing some desperate footy.
Lachlan Coote down on the touchline. Manly 40 metres out. Olakawadu holds up a ball and then passes it on an obstruction play. Penalty goes to North Queensland. Olakawadu held it up and put...
We're discussing whether they might take this upstairs. I think they will.
Captain's challenge on an obstruction call.
We're on tackle 3, coming to 4. Manly are challenging the ruling of obstruction, that the lead runner impacts the defence.
So we'll wait for Wyatt Raymond's call here. By the way, thanks to Boz in Bundy, who texts, "Rapid is excellent. At first it was a little behind, but it's spot on now. Love it." Thanks, Boz and Bundy. Yeah, just sort of...
At this point, Ruben Garrick is now in front of the football and is no longer a support runner. Jackson Perdue is not able to advance forward and continue to defend. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Yeah, that's a pretty straightforward call. Yeah, just finish on Rapid. Good on you, Boz. So it sort of depends on how strong your internet is as to how fast you can hear the call, but it does, in certain areas, you sort of mute the telly, put on ABC Rapid, and you're basically right there to be able to hear from the likes of Grant Bell and Lachlan Coote while you watch your pictures on NRL Thursday. Clifford finds touch. 7.5 minutes to the break. Manly leads 16-6. On a night where ball handling's been tough, mainly because of the humidity and the sweat out there. McIntyre's out on the field for the Cowboys. He takes a carry. So too Griffin Neem down the middle third. And Neem's 25 out. And the PA man in Townsville, he's as much as a part of footy in this part of the world as, having a steak at one of the nearby eateries before you come to the game. Cowboys, he yells as Drinkwater's tackled. 25 out. Now McKaylee on a straightening run. He's taken 15 metres out. Luke directs it left. Clifford receives, runs at the line, passes to Drinkwater, pass to Perdue. Oh, he lost the ball, trying to get the pass onto the edge, and it's picked up by Garrick of Manly. Manly with the ball. Garrick stopped 15 out, and again, someone get the grippo out. It's almost impossible to hold on to out there, Belly.
Yeah, no, I've got to agree with Lachlan Coote down the sideline. They just need to complete some sets, get through the set, whether it's an attacking end or coming out in yardage. They need to complete some sets.
Fogarty goes for a 40-20, but the kick's not towards the touchline. He kicked that from 15 inside his own half. Drinkwater catches it. Looks a bit laboured as he runs the ball back to the 30 and eventually gets tackled. So that was an early-ish kick from Fogarty. 6 minutes to the break. And now the Cowboys trying to explore that right edge on the run of Burns, but he's taken in the tackle by Hopewadi, who scored the first 2 tries in the game. 3 tries to 1 for Manly, and they lead at 16-6. Cowboys get to halfway on the carry of Chester, and there was a high tackle in that. So this will give North Queensland a free trip to the attacking end. And on first observation, Gerard Sutton's not going to put either of those 2 Manly tacklers on report. There's Hopewadi there, and just a little bit of a loose shoulder from Corey Waddell. Yeah, not much in it, was there? So kick finds touch on the 30. First carry from the Cowboys, advances 6 metres on the run of Lukey. Now to the centre third, and Griffin Neem with 3 around him. He's tackled 15 metres out. 5 minutes to the break. Cowboys on the attack to the left. Clifford at the line, gives it to Drinkwater, holds it, gives it to Perdue. He can't get past Saab, but he gets an offload back to Drinkwater. He tries to weave away from Waddell. Passes to a flat-footed Luke. Luke's tackled 22 metres out. Great defence from Manly. Now Cotter out of dummy half. Gives the ball on. There's space for McKaylee to charge through. Thomas McKaylee slips his way into the northern in-goal area. Has he scored the try, though?
At no try.
Not according to the referee,
Okay.
and he doesn't like it.
Good to see that Tom McHaley loses the ball as he comes over the line, and clear contact from Manly into the tackle.
And on the big screen, we had a close-up of the big Cowboys bench forward who was swearing at himself in the biggest indication.
The defender is planted before the ball makes impact. We're rolling on at this point.
The foot of Kohler gets in the way.
Just looking to determine if there's high contact by Tolu. The ball is lost by Thomas McHaley. So catching action, there's no high contact and the ball is lost in the field of play. We have a decision.
Yeah. So he hasn't put the leg down.
So this will be no try.
So Tom loses it in the field of play.
And he didn't, the foot was there, didn't try and kick it out of his hands. It was there as McCarthy was trying to plant it near the goal line. So just making sure that there was no illegal play, no high contact either. So it's a missed opportunity for Tom McHaley and the Cowboys.
I've got to disagree a little bit there. I'm interested in your view, Lachlan Coop, but I think the foot was certainly pushed out, whether it was in a dangerous way or not. The foot was pushed out towards the football.
Yeah, I think they were stating the fact that it was already planted before he come across the leg. But then the disappointing thing was to say that there was no high contact, but you can clearly see his arm hit him across the jaw there.
Well, a bit of the rub of the green there going for Manly. There's 5 minutes left in this first half, and Manly leads 16-6 NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Hope you're enjoying your night at the footy with us in Townsville. Quentin Hull, Grant Bell and Lachlan Coop as now up to the 40 on the left edge. Ben Trebojevic goes on a bit of a run, taken 8 inside his own half, 5 inside that left wing. Simpkin passes infield, and a dummy and straighten on the carry there for Manly from Falalo, gets to halfway. Simpkin jumps out of dummy half. No great gain there. Scoots a couple of metres to the left. Plays it on 5. 42 metres out. Last play for Manly. Fogarty puts up a bomb for the Seagulls. It's right edge and Drinkwater mises it up. Gifts Hopewadi a hat-trick. Oh, Hopewadi didn't plant the ball. He passes it to Wakeham to score. So Drinkwater running back with a flight. It burst off his chest, went backwards to the goal line, straight to Lehigh Hopewadi, who ran into the in-goal area, had a hat-trick there for the taking, but he decided to give it to Brandon Wakeham, who scores. It's a Manly try nonetheless, and that's 20 points to 6, kick to come.
Yeah, I don't know whether as a coach, as generous as it is to give to your teammate, when you're in the goal, I want to see you score the try, because the number of drop balls in uncontested situations tonight with slippery play around, I think we want to see you just put the football down and score the try.
Well, particularly on a night like tonight, where there's been lots of lost ball, but
nonetheless, it was a ball that just slipped away from Scott Drinkwater. One that was there and one that certainly he was looking to hold on to. He juggled, he did his best, but could not pull it in. Lachlan Coop.
I just had a text, by the way, unnamed one. What are the Cowboys' completions at? We'll give you that number just after Fogarty's conversion attempt. So this will be another 2 points straight in front for Jamal Fogarty. And he puts Manly 22 points to 6 in front over North Queensland with 2.5 left in this first half. So, Lockie, 52% is the Cowboys' completion rate in this first half. Manly going at 72%.
Yeah, that's definitely not good enough. And it's for an experienced fullback as Drinkwater there. He's definitely misjudged that bomb there. It was a nice, easy bread and butter catch, and there's no wind out here, so I don't know how he's misjudged that, but I guess that's when fatigue comes in and you get it wrong sometimes.
Half-time in the AFL, Carlton has a 14-point lead over Collingwood. The Blues 6-5-41 lead the Magpies 3-8-27. We've got 2.5 minutes left before the break here. 4 tries to 1 for Manly. Gee, the Fossolution continues here in the north. 22 to 6 in front. Kickoff's taken into the field of play by the carry there of Waddell, and now down the middle third and up over the 20-metre line. That's a good run. Let's try and pick up. Who was that? That was Tokiyaho down the middle third. Now Ben Trbojevic has got the ball left edge, and he's taken it. No great gain there. Manly midway goal line and halfway. Ben Trbojevic plays the football there. Simpkin passes centre field. Jake Trbojevic is back out. Well, that's great news.
So I was meant to add that last time.
No, that's okay, Lockie. So he's passed his head injury assessment.
Past his, HIA.
Great news for Manly as Fogarty kicks downfield at the end of the set. Taken by Drinkwater, left corner on his own 10. Kick return almost back to the 20. So 90 seconds left in the half for either Manly to go further ahead or the Cowboys to eat into this deficit. Laboured on a left foot, step and straight, and taken on the 30. Now Purdue runs infield. I'll tell you what tonight, Billy, there have been a lot more runs from the backs out of their own zone for the Cowboys than I saw in the game against Brisbane last week. Those forwards haven't been getting back and doing the hard work like they did at the Cauldron. Anyway, now to halfway. Here's another one of those backs. Burns with a carry. I don't think a forward has carried the ball for the Cowboys in this set. And then Clifford knocks on the pass from dummy half right at the end of it.
Terrible pass. But he's got to position himself to take that, but it was a terrible pass.
What about my observation on the forwards, Billy?
Well, and I'm going to talk about that at half time because both sides have really exploited using their backs to run. But the Cowboys, the comparison between the Cowboys and Manly is black and white.
30 seconds to the break, and Manly get the last shot in this first half. They're centre field and 30 out on the carry of Waddell. To the right, Fogarty chips in behind the line. He's got Kohler charging through. Ball bounces. Oh, Drinkwater looks at it, then just taps it away from Kohler's fingers in the in-goal area and gets it dead. That was a very near thing. And almost another Manly try. Drinkwater was there. There were 2 or 3 other Cowboys around him, and they all said, yours. And then Tolu Kohler almost got his hands to that. Drinkwater bats it dead. And Cowboys fans in Townsville breathe a sigh of relief. But Manly go to the sheds in front. This change of fortune coming with the change of coach has continued at least through the opening 40 here in Townsville. Half-time in the round 7 opener, and Manly Warringah lead North Queensland by 22 points to 6, 4 tries to 1. Hopewadi with the double, scoring on 5 and 17 minutes for 10-0. Cohen Hess slipping through for a try for the Cowboys 23 minutes into the game. It was 10-6 Manly at that point, but then Ben Trbojevic and Brandon Wakeham scoring twice on the half-hour mark, and then 3 minutes from time. 22-6. Seagulls over the Cowboys at half-time, Gruntville. How did that happen?
Well, it's very much a game of possession and position. The Cowboys sitting there 44% of the ball that they've had during the game, and their completion rate of 50%. You cannot win a game of football on those stats. Manly, by the way, haven't been startling either with 70% completions, but it certainly just has not been good for the Cowboys in terms of their control of the football and their use of the ball. But 11 errors for the Cowboys as opposed to 6 for Manly tells a big story and a big issue for the Cowboys that I'm certain Todd Payton will want to address at half time. But one of the things I wanted to talk about when we look at the players' metres run, Braden Burns 120 metres, but apart from that, Tommy Chester 80, nobody else. We then drop back to Jace Taumalolo at 74 metres, have been anywhere near where you would expect the players to be. And by the same token, when you have a look at the Sea Eagles, and of course Tom Trbojevic is off, but Jason Saab 75 metres, Kohler 130 metres, 58 metres, Garrick 73 metres for Hopewadi. There their outside backs have been doing a mountain of work as well, and turning the opposition around, working that way away, which has then given a chance for the forwards to find themselves in a position where, when the ball's in good ball, they can contribute better.
Grant Bell up in the box just before the news. Thought or two from Lockie Coote on the touchline.
Yeah, I think just that completion's a killer, isn't it? And I think Manly have gone through a bit of resilience in the first half, obviously, and still playing some good footy and turning up for each other. But I don't think Cowboys are doing themselves any favour by the amount of errors they've made. And like we mentioned just before half-time, like, they're overplaying, and there was no need for it. And now they find themselves down with a fair lead.
Good on you, Lachlan. And just repeating that, other news outside of the scoreline in the first half, if you missed it, Tom Trbojevic lasting only 15 minutes before leaving the field with a left hamstring injury. Great news that Jake's back out there, having left for a head injury assessment, but cleared to return to action. Manly Warringah lead North Queensland 22 points to 6. Hope you're enjoying NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. We'll be back in the Sweatyville after a trip to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News, good evening. I'm William Howard Evans. The Prime Minister has cut short his trip to Malaysia to visit the site of the Viva Energy oil refinery fire in Victoria. Here's political reporter Romy Stevens.
Anthony Albanese has been in Malaysia to shore up Australia's fuel supplies amid the global oil crisis triggered by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Off the back of reaching his third agreement with major fuel suppliers in Asia in less than a week, Mr Albanese's announced he's coming home early due to the oil refinery fire in Geelong. The Prime Minister will visit the site tomorrow with Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles and Energy Minister Chris Bowen. Mr Bowen says the refinery continues to produce diesel and jet fuel at reduced levels, with petrol production likely to be most impacted.
The United States has confirmed it's discussing a possible second round of peace talks with Iran following the failure of top-level talks in Pakistan last weekend. More from the BBC's Peter Bowes.
The wider message seems to be that diplomacy is continuing, although there are no immediate signs of any fresh face-to-face talks taking place. This does deviate somewhat from what President Trump said on Tuesday, that fresh rounds of talks could start in Islamabad within 2 days. We know that a delegation from Pakistan is in Tehran as part of Islamabad's mediation efforts, and it is very likely that if these talks resume, that they will be in the Pakistani capital again. But it does appear that there is still quite a bit of work to be done to get there.
Analysis of satellite images and videos shows Israeli strikes have destroyed more than 1,400 buildings in southern Lebanon since fighting against Hezbollah militants erupted in March. As access to imagery is limited, BBC Verify says it's likely the true scale of destruction is much higher. Russian missiles and drones have struck the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv and other cities overnight, with officials saying the death toll is now at least 16. 4 people, including a 12-year-old boy, have been killed in a missile strike on a residential area of the capital, and Kyiv's mayor says at least 45 others have been injured. Further attacks in Dnipro and Odessa have taken the overall death toll higher. This resident in Kyiv says he and his girlfriend narrowly escaped injury.
The first attack happened and we covered ourselves with a sheet. Yana told me, let's get up. And I told her, no, let's wait. We waited and the second attack happened and then everything flew. 3 windows flew there. It's terrible. Thank God we didn't get up. Here the debris flew a little. We are lucky.
India is considering one of its biggest democratic reforms in decades, a plan to bring hundreds more women into parliament. Lawmakers are debating a bill that would fast-track a 33% quota across national and state legislatures. While there's broad support for increasing female representation, concerns remain over a linked plan to redraw voting boundaries, which could expand parliament and shift political power. Pranita Gupta from the Observer Research Foundation says says the move would make India's democracy truly representative.
I think for women like me, it instills a sense of confidence that we can participate in politics and we can be part of a parliament, not only as an exception, but as well as a norm.
A prominent human rights organisation says a growing number of governments are hunting down critics who have fled abroad. A report by Freedom House names China as the worst offender, followed by Vietnam and Russia. Georgia, Afghanistan and Benin are among those listed for the first time. The report has also found Kenya, Tunisia and Uganda are the worst offenders when it comes to detaining and extraditing people who have opposed their respective governments. Anti-protest laws rammed through the New South Wales Parliament are being labelled as a waste of time and money after they were struck down today. They gave police powers to restrict public assembly and were pushed through Parliament on Christmas Eve in the wake of the Bondi terrorist attack. The Court of Appeal has since found the laws are in breach of Australia's Constitution. Tim Roberts from the New South Wales Council for Civil Liberties says that's no surprise.
It's fantastic news for civil society. Quite frankly, it's the decision we thought would happen. These laws were blatantly unconstitutional. The real disappointment here is we had a New South Wales government that, in the face of advice from the parliamentarians and civil society, pursued these laws.
And the Socceroos will wrap up their FIFA World Cup preparations with a friendly against Switzerland in San Diego in the United States. The match will be held on Sunday, the 7th of June, a week before Australia's World Cup opener. ABC News.
Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Way to Wakeham, past left Brooks, dummies and straightens, got past one, passes to the edge, and an easy try for Hopewadi in the left corner for Manly. And the Seagulls strike first in Townsville, only a couple of metres from the goal line out on the left. Last play coming up blindside. Wakeham to Brooks, pass to Falolo, pass to the edge, catch and touchdown for Hopewadi for a double. Easy as you like, let the ball do the work. Cotter backs his way into the defence, takes the tackle of 15 out, pass to the right now, Dearden at the line, puts Hess through a hole, he slips through a couple of tackles, and the big boy from Bundy goes in for the Cowboys' first try of the night. Simpkin out a dummy half, tries to crash through, he can't, he's a metre from the goal line, played to Wakeham, pass left and centre field, Fogarty grubber for the in-goal, area Benro BK15 scores, he's on the end of it. Oh, what a story rugby league can bring you at times. Tom off hamstrung, Jake off concussed potentially, but Ben scores. Family Trebojevic is having quite the time in Townsville. Plays it on 5, 42 metres out, last play for Manly. Fogarty puts up a bomb for the Seagulls. It's right edge and Drinkwater mises it up. Gifts Hopewadi a hat-trick. Oh, Hopewadi didn't plant the ball. He passes it to Wakeham to score.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
It was a surprising way to end that try, to end a surprising 40 minutes of football. Welcome back to NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. My name is Quentin Hull, and you're in Townsville with us on a very sweaty night where ball control has been poor, and Tom Trebojevic is in the hamstrung ward yet again. But Manly Warringah are on the brink of making it 3-0 under Kieran Foran. Well, they lost 3 games to start with, but outside of that, boy, haven't things changed? Since Foran's been the coach, they lead North Queensland 22 points to 6 here at half-time. Quentin Hull, Grant Bell and Lachlan Coote bringing it to you. 2 tries to Hopewadi, Ben Trebojevic, and also Brandon Wakeham scoring tries for Manly. Cohen Hess the only try for the Cowboys. And, yeah, when Ben went in for that try, Jake Trebojevic was off the field getting a head injury assessed. The good news that he is back out there. His younger brother won't be, though. He is done for the night and for the short-term future with a hamstring injury. Your text continued to be welcome. 0467 920 222 is the number. Please send us your name when you text us. G'day to Damo, who's texting from Athens in Greece. G'day team. Has Scotty Drinkwater caught the Dragon's curse already with the dropsy? Here's an unnamed text. Drinkwater's contract price falling by the minute. Oh, they're quick. Onto him, Billy. Here's one here. Come on, send your name if you're going to text us, please. I'll read this one, though, because it continues on that vein. This is the reason Cowboys fans aren't worried about Drinkwater leaving. He has one good game and then has 3 shockers. He lets too many balls go without trying to catch them. Unnamed, that one, 0467 920 222. And Alex from Newcastle texts us, did they put the canola oil in the sprinklers? What's going on? She is a bit slippery out there tonight, Billy.
It's very slippery out there, Quentin.
22-6. Is this game headed in one direction?
I think, and Lachlan Coop made a really valuable point. Get your head around what the purpose of the set is. If you're having trouble handling the ball, maybe look at kicking on tackle 3 or tackle 4. Get yourself down the other end and re-establish it. Look for the errors to be turning over from your opposition. And just control your play. Don't be too ambitious too early. And I think the Cowboys can say that they have been too ambitious too early. And you ask early, before the game, what's been the turnaround for the Cowboys? And I said their passing game, utilising the football, has been a big turnaround. It's not for every game, and you've got to use your judgment. As Manly come on the field, led by that man, I wanted to talk about Jake Trbojevic because Jake leads every kick chase. He turns every kick chase into an opportunity, and he's putting pressure on the Cowboys. And there was one of the sets where you said the Cowboys are just going nowhere in this set. And ultimately the try came from a lost ball. It started from pressure from Jake Trbojevic and then his kick chase followed by marker chase and just showed the determination that he has to put pressure on the opposition. And he is so critical to their team. It was great to see him come back from that head injury assessment.
And he's back out there with that headgear on. Manly first out onto the field, and now the Cowboys running into position. So 4 wins in a row for North Queensland. And Manly with back-to-back wins under interim coach Kieran Foran. I think only 2 other interim coaches have won their first 3 games in the NRL era. Brad Fittler was 1. I think Peter Sharp was the other.
Okay.
So there you go.
Peter Sharp would have done it with Manly.
Yes. So forgive me if I've muddled up that stat, but I didn't just noted that reading on the way up on the flight today. So and both of them ended up getting the full-time gig afterwards. So yeah, could be pretty big times here for the decision makers at Brookvale if this trend continues. Let's see what the second half has got. 40 minutes of football can change a lot. Neem with the kick return for the Cowboys, who are now running to the right of your radio dial, and McKaylee almost dropped the first pass from dummy half of the second half. He needed his hip and his thigh to catch that ball, which almost slid away at the start of the second half. Gee, lucky to hold on to the ball as McIntyre has a run. And now down the middle third, McKaylee has another go. He held on to that one and has taken 15 from halfway. Plays the ball there to Luke. Given a Drinkwater running down the middle third. He's crashed into Jake Trbojevic up top. Put him down. 8 from halfway. End of the set. Dearden gets his boot to it and kicks high and deep downfield. Caught by Hopewadi, defensive left edge for Manly. Passes infield to Kohler, who's back playing at fullback with Tom Trbojevic often. The kick return gets to the 30. So as Manly run the ball up, first set of the second half for them. Let's get to Lockie Coote in the touchline. What have you got from the rooms for us, Lockie?
Yeah, mate, on Foran's end, he just, simple message for Manly, just kick down in early, a high completion, and just keep it down in the Cowboys' end. On Toddy's side, he had a fair bit to say around their defensive intent. It's just not good enough. They're obviously breaking lines and breaking through the tackles, which is allowing the quick play the ball. And they also said when we got in the grind, we put the foot down and we're looking good, but too often we're just looking for the big play. So the message was it's just get the completions high and kick down early.
Thanks for that, Lachlan. And there was just a delay to assess Ruben Cotter while you were delivering that. news as well, so we didn't miss any play. But Cotter's been cleared to play, but just looked a little concerned there for a moment. Manly with the ball through Tokiaho. Over halfway and tackled about 44 metres from the Cowboys line. Plays the ball to Simpkin, feeds it right for Fogarty. Infield run from Garrick. Steps past one, Garrick. Got to the 30, got tackled. Offload to Brooks. Sweeps a long pass to the left, Benro BK15. Then gives it on to Fololo, stepping off left and right. Bouncing away from Dearden. Dearden needs help, and he gets it eventually in the shape of Burns to make the tackle. Good run from Fololo. Plays it 10 metres out on the left. Fed right in centre field to Fogarty, who kicks for the goal line at the end of the set. It's a bomb. Purdue fumbles, catches. And from the field of play, he jumped. The catch is complete, and it's a goal line dropout coming up for North Queensland.
Yeah, plenty of pressure there from Olakau'atu, who chased through on the kick. The Cowboys had plenty there, and I think teams are a bit nervous about what's a disruptor and what's a block as the short kick comes out.
11 metres on the fly from Drinkwater, and Manly has knocked on. So the Cowboys will get the ball back on that well-executed short kick. Balala flying, but knocking the ball on there, and the Cowboys will get the scrum feed 11 from their own line. Gee, they're harsh here. Sam from Corrimal texts, why wouldn't Drinky be playing poorly? His club doesn't want him, and the only club that wants him is coming last and is likely to be coachless. But if they'll pay him $1 million, surely most people would be distracted. Bit of tongue-in-cheek there as well, Sam, but yeah. So, well, certainly there was always going to be talk about the way he performed tonight with that news around the place. High tackle from Manly here on Labert. It was Fogarty who acknowledges that, says sorry, not on report. Labert's up and okay, but that's a penalty to the Cowboys, and they need anything they can to get out of their own red zone here, get to the other end, trailing 22-6. Kick finds touch about 12 metres, still inside North Queensland territory. And McIntyre almost ran over the line for the timing of the Purdue tap. So he stops and goes again. McIntyre now does take it forward. Stop 9 from halfway. Now Neem with an ex-carry down the middle foot for the Cowboys. Put to deck 2 metres inside North Queensland territory. Played to Luke. Pass right through Drinkwater to Dearden. On to Lukey on the right edge. Brooks around his ankles. And up top, tackle is completed by Waddell. And the Cowboys 45 metres out. One man back to the centre third. Well, Dearden offers it to the change of angle from McHale. He goes to a knee stop, 32 metres out. Couple of plays left in the set to the left. Ran at the line by Clifford. Gives it to Dearden. Dummies and straightens, but can't get through the defence. Olakau'atu there to make the tackle. Last play for the Cowboys. 25 out, blindside. Give it to Drinkwater, who bombs towards the goal line. Left that and caught beautifully by Kohler of Manly. Feeling in well at fullback. Diffuses the bomb. Takes the tackle. Seagulls with the footy. They'll start this set. 5 from the southern in-goal area. 4.5 minutes played in the second half. No change to that halftime score. Manly Warringah 22 lead North Queensland 6 as Neem comes in with a big hit on Hopewadi. Both men are okay. Hopewadi plays it on the 20. Now Tokiaho. Gain of 8. One man to the left of the ruck, just short of the 30. Siwa to his feet. Simpkins passes left for Ben Travojevic, who's had a good game as well tonight. 15 in from the left and 10 from halfway when tackled on the penultimate play of the set. The last play is a miss-hit Fogarty Torpy. It's a bomb which wobbles and in the end is well caught out there by the Cowboys. Chester, no, it was Labert having to come forward to that, to a dipping ball. Tackle 10 from halfway. Clifford in a dummy half. Makes a scoop, gains 8 to the blindside before being taken down by Garrick. Cowboys fans thought there was a bit of ruck infringement there, but no wavy fisty. As infield runs Burns from that left side to the centre third, just beyond halfway. He's slow to play the ball as well. Now caught up, passes right for Neiman. They just look bereft of a little energy here, the Cowboys, as Neiman's tackled right edge. 38 metres from the goal line that Manly's defending, back to the left. Man in motion. This looks better. Clifford through Dearden to Drinkwater. On to Purdue, but Garrick's got him in his sights and Garrick reels him in one-on-one. Last play coming up for the Cowboys. Left edge and 30 out. Last play is a kick from Dearden. High towards the attacking left side, but no one challenges Kohler. He takes the catch comfortably. Gets decked pretty handsomely by the tackle of the kick chase, but Manly defuse and now run the ball up beyond the 10 grunt bell.
Well, at least it was a completed dead set, and that's a positive for the Cowboys. But there was a lot of angled across field, angled out towards the corner post running, as we say, that just drags the defenders across. They needed somebody to straighten and put themselves in a much better position to pass the ball out.
Manly on the 30 as Hopewadi plays the ball. Simpkin gives it on to Tokiyaho, making a good return from that calf injury. A dozen from halfway. Fogarty goes the angle of the 40-20 kick, tries to ping it towards the defensive right corner of the Cowboys, but well read by Drinkwater. Catches 10 metres out, runs over the 20, and is stopped midway goal line and halfway by a one-on-one tackle from Simpkin. So we've seen a little bit of grind, no score in the 7 minutes of this second half so far. Manly leading 22 points to 6 on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Laboured with a run, 8 from halfway, went tackle for the Cowboys. Purdue at dummy half, gives it on to McKaylee, who tries to spin his way through a tackle. Can't, but gets stopped just beyond halfway. Plays it there to Luke, given to Clifford, looks at the line, passes to a flat-footed Dearden, gives it right to Drinkwater, pops it up for the infield runner. Chester gets through Tokiyaho over the 30, up to the 20 before Ben Trebojevic takes him down. Last play, Cowboys, quick blindside move. Drinkwater steps infield, tackle by Hopewadi. Got a great pass away to Chester. Chester stopped by 3 Manly defenders, a metre from the goal line. Jake Trebojevic along with Waddell and also Kohler there to save the day. Hand over Manly's ball. They keep their line intact and stay 22 points to 6 in front.
Yeah, well, Chester was very fortunate. Unfortunate.
Well, they're coming in hard on this defensive set, Billy, the Cowboys.
Very unfortunate not to get through. There was a great set of hands for him to pick up the offload.
Garrick with a strong carry there, 15 from his own line.
Good defence line movement from the Cows in this set.
Now Tokiyaho gets beyond the 20, so a little bit of momentum now in this set, but Manly's still well pinned as Olakau'atu, no, that's Kohler coming in down the middle third. He's tackled 15 from halfway. Last play, Manly 15 inside their own half, so Brooks kicks downfield for territory. That's a good kick too. Left boot pitches on the 10, skids to the goal line. Drinkwater picks it up, has to saunter over the 10-metre line and stop before getting to the 20. We've had 8 minutes of the second half. Still Manly 22, North Queensland 6. Thoughts on the touchline, Lachlan Coote?
Yeah, Ruben Cotter's just come off now. But yeah, it's good to see that in the grind, the last 4 sets, Cowboys have kept Manly in their own 40-metre line. Very disappointing just on that last play. Drinkwater and Burns just ambled back and just let that ball bounce, but it would have been good to see them get it on the full.
Hold down here from Manly, so a penalty goes to North Queensland. This will give them field position and a trip to the attacking end. I love this from John and Sharon texting from somewhere on the Leichhardt Highway. They say, hey team, I'm listening to the game. We drive through the night from our beautiful grandkids in Bowen to our more beautiful grandkids in Gundawindi. Of course, we live in Kingaroy. Love being grandparents. Go Cows, please, with a little please emoji. John and Sharon drive safely on the Leichhardt Highway, and yeah, keep enjoying the footy. Cowboys are on the attack now. You can get in touch 0467 920 222 as Matt Lodge is out there, plays at 25 out. The ball given to the right for Dearden, no way through for him. Dearden, 20 metres out in centre field. He plays the ball there to Luke, given on to Lodge, who pounds his way down the middle third, gets to the 10, stopped by 3 tacklers, quick play the ball. Luke out of dummy half, runs at the line, passes to Dearden. Dearden's pass took a Manly touch by Fancy and is jumped on by the Sea Eagles out on the left, and now the call comes from the touching. Yep, Lehigh Hopewadi jumped on it, but there was a Manly touch as it went loose to the right edge from a Cowboys perspective.
Well, this is a great opportunity now for the Cowboys here. A chance to find themselves in good attacking position with the football. It's interesting to see how they control it and what they take it forward with.
And Luke is very sharp on the text. Says, well, I suppose that's one way to find out you're not the favourite grandchild. You're right, Luke. I only read it as the text was written. From beautiful grandkids in Bowen to more beautiful grandkids in Gundawindi. I'm sure John and Sharon didn't mean it that way, but well picked up, Luca. Okay, Cowboys have got the ball. 10 metres out, 10 minutes played, second half, still Manly 22-6. Luke passes left. Oh, the ball from Dearden to his man is forward. To McIntyre, that's a forward pass from Tom Dearden. Play 2 on the attack. And picked up immediately by referee Sutton. The Cowboys' bullets are all in their own feet tonight, Lockie Coote.
Yeah, I was going to make that comment earlier with Tommy Dearden not really going to the line as much as he has in the past with his show and go, and just seeing there, not full of confidence there, which played off the pass, which allowed it to go forward. So disappointing there. He needs to get back to his running game.
So Manly defeat this scrum. 10 from their own line. Kieran Foran just to our right through the pane of glass with his assistants around him. A club in turmoil only a fortnight ago. Well, they're headed for a third straight victory and a 3-3 record in the season if things continue on trend here in Townsville. Manly just beyond the 20. Blindside Simpkin gives it Olakauatu. Nice run. Taken 10 in from touch on the right, 15 from halfway. Played to Simpkin, given left and infield to Garrick. Stepping run to Purdue, takes him around the hips, gets help from Neen, and Garrick plays it for Manly. Right edge, 10 from halfway. Now to the left and centre field. Fogarty gives to Brooks. High tackle there, maybe. No, not from Elam Lukey. Referee says that's 5. Brooks plays it. 5 inside his own half. Fogarty will kick downfield at the end of the set. It's high and pretty shallow. Taken defensive right corner by Burns of the Cowboys. 3 defenders in his face. Wrap him up and push him to deck. And the Cowboys will have to start this set right edge and 23 metres from their own line. Couple of sets of hands to centre field for Drinkwater. But he drilled in immediately. Olakauatu there to make the tackle. Plays the ball. Oh, Chester had to run in to beat dummy half. No one was there. He picks it up, got tackle, chucked it out the back to McKaylee, who decides to go forward. 3 around him, got an offload away. Second phase here, Luke. They're on the 30. Passes it right for Dearden. Tries to get past the tackle of Brooks, but can't. Tackle 12 inside North Queensland territory. Played to Chester, given to Lodge. Matt Lodge buffets away from Jake Trbojevic before Jake comes again to stop him. Right in the middle of the park. Ball played to Luke, given to Drinkwater at the line. He passes right for Dearden. His ball for Lukey. Great defensive read from Falalo to cut him down on the inside line run. Last play, Cowboys 35 out. Blindside given to Dearden. Chips in behind the line. Leapt out and caught brilliantly by Kohler. That was a magnificent leap and catch. And just looking to my right, the coach has got out of his seat there, Belly. He thought that should have been a penalty for being tackled in the air. But Tolu Kohler, spectacular aerial skills to defuse the kick as Saab takes Manly beyond the 20.
Yeah, interesting with the discussions during the week about what is contestable and otherwise. I thought that was a penalty then against Tom Chester.
Now Manly down the middle third. Vaseka's back out there. Got an offload away under 2 tacklers. Around him for Brooks. Almost scooted past. It got put down by Lodge on halfway. Now give it to Fogarty. Chips in behind the line at the end of the set. It's rolling and finds touch right near the corner post, a metre from the goal line at the northern end. And John and Sharon have texted back and they say more in quantity, not quality. There we go. There's your answer when it comes to those grandkids. And then they follow up with, geez, we could be in the compost, and a smiling poo emoji. Thanks, John and Sharon. Good on you. So what does that say? They've got more grandkids in Gundawindi than they did in Bowen. I think that's where we're up to. Yeah,
I think it was the case.
That's what it is. 15 minutes played second half. No change to the halftime score. 4 tries to 1. Manly in front. 22-6. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Grant Bell and Lockie Coote on a sweaty Thursday night in Townsville. Cowboys down the middle third. McCarley on a run taken 10 from halfway. Now to the left. Clifford's ball tries to pop a little hole there for Neem, but it's closed under the tackle of Olakauatu. Neem 48 metres out. Crowd wanting a set restart. Ref says no. Last play. So Drinkwater bombs deep with that left boot. No pressure on Kohler. Catches at 8 from his goal line. He's there at fullback because Tommy Turbo's off with another hammy. And Kohler is reeled in and taken a deck by the collar of Elam Lukey. Manly to start this set. 15 out. Dare I say it, Grunt Bell? We've got to the grind here. We've got to the grind in Townsville.
It's taken us,
almost an hour of footy.
Yep. And we finally got there.
Now, just letting you know, Kobe Hetherington has just entered the field.
Thanks for that, Lockie. Lockie Coote down on the touchline. So, yeah, he's back out there. Both teams have activated their 4 players on the bench. I'll go through them in a moment. Hetherington, there's the run. Good spot, Lock right down the middle. Taken 40 out last play. Manly on the attack. And the choice at the end of the set is a bomb from Fogarty. Drinkwater approaches, leaps, catches, and has tackled 15 from his own line. So, from the North Queensland bench, McIntyre, Neem, McKaylee and Lodge have all been activated. No by Leah, no Edwards tonight. For Manly, Simpkin, Waddell, Tokiyaho and Falalo have been activated. No Ethan Bullimore or Jackson Sheriff tonight. So Sheriff still yet to make his debut, and Falalo probably out there because of the injury to Tom Trebojevic. He's been filling in out on the edge with Kohler going back to fullback. Cowboys have got it on their own 30 and Clifford decides to boot it downfield. And not making much ground out of their own end there. The Cowboys at pitches taken by Kohler on the 20. He's able to sort it to the 40, finds almost a little bit of a hole, did, and Lodge grappling, hopefully and eventually successfully to get him to deck. Great kick return. Manly is winning the possession game and the game on the scoreboard here as Garrick goes over halfway and in fact is pushed back to the halfway line by the tackle of Tom Malolo and others. Garrick plays the ball there to Simpkin. Given off right shoulder to the run of Paseka. A hard-earned 10 or 11 to the right of the ruck. Plays it 38 metres out. Blindside right, Simpkin to Fogarty. Passes to the inside line there of almost getting through Olakawatu. He's put down 15 metres out. Great run. Tamalolo stops him. Simpkin passes left for Brooks. He is passed to the left edge. Oh, it's come out of the hands of the Manly player there for Lalo under the tackle of Burns. It went backwards. Play on. It's tackle 4 for Lalo, dummies and straightens, and eventually, after a lateral run across the 20, he's taken on said red stripe. Last play. Simpkin passes right for Fogarty, who will chip for the right wing, looking for Saab. Bats it backwards to Garrick, chucks it behind him. In the field of play, jumped on by Clifford. He's got it. North Cowboys have the ball. North Queensland Cowboys have the ball. And that's the end of another, well, messy-ish set. Grant Bell. Oh, high tackle here. Lost ball. Lost ball, first play, Cowboys. Chester received the pass from Dearden and lost it on contact 11 metres from his own line.
Yeah, Tommy Chester's had a tough night. The shot was coming down on top of the ball from Kohler. The errors are just piling up.
You could slowly see the momentum turning towards the Cowboys, and all of a sudden Manly have flipped that back around just due to a couple of errors. The Cowboys are letting themselves down there.
Manly scrum and Paseka with the first carry. He's tackled only 8 metres from the goal line, looking for the first points in the second half. Simpkin passes right. Fogarty dummies and straightens, but Tamalolo's there, reads the step and makes the tackle. And Fogarty will play it for Manly. Oh, and there's a wavy fisty as well on the extra grab there from Hess. Bad boy Cohen. Bad boy from Bundy there as he mark a defence and shuts down Simpkin. Now to the left, Hetherington's got it. He has a run at the goal line. 8 metres out. Manly score next here. It might be a bridge too far for the Cowboys even this early on. Ben Trebojevic on the inside line slips over. Tackled 7 metres out near the left pole. Plays it to Simpkin. Passes right. Paseka backs his way into the tackle of Luke. Luke puts him down a metre or two from the goal line. Played there to Simpkin. Grubbers for the in goal. Purdue's first to meet it though for the Cowboys, but the referee says penalty to Manly. The Cowboys were offside. So the lead is 16. Why not take the 2 here to make it 18? 22-6 is the scoreline.
They are going to take the 2. Listen to you, Quentin.
Bleed through the screen to next door, and they said, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, tell the boys to take the 2.
But yeah, it certainly has been the case that the Cowboys were really starting to turn the ship there in their favour. They were finding more metres, they were finding themselves down the right end of the field, but it only takes one error, and one error from Tommy Chester was pretty critical, and Manly have made the most out of those errors when they've come their way, and certainly in this occasion they're in a much stronger position as a result of it. They're going to end up with another 2 points, and put themselves 18 points in front and just probably, as you say, a bridge too far.
Just an extraordinary storyline unfolding in this season for Manly Warringah. As Jamal Fogarty has the ball placed on the kicking tee, 10 metres to the right of the uprights and about 16 metres out. This for an 18-point lead for Manly in Townsville. He's kicked 3 from 4 tonight already, Jamal Fogarty. Keeping Reuben Garrick out of the kicking duties now that he's at the club. And he strikes well with the right boot. That's 4 from 5 for Jamal Fogarty. And Manly does have that 3 converted try lead at 24 points to 6 with 19 minutes left in the game around the grounds in the AFL. 5 minutes from three-quarter time. Carlton lead Collingwood by 11 points. The Blues 7-8-50 to the Magpies 5-9-39. Is there a change of momentum in this one, Billy? Is there a change of momentum in this one?
I find it hard now to see the Cowboys being able to pick up and go. You've only got to look at the way they've brought themselves back ready for the kickoff. It's one thing to conserve energy. The other is to come forward with intent.
And I've quickly just been able to, as Clifford restarts, make sure that Manly get about this first set okay, this first play okay. Yep, Hetherington to the 10. I've just brought up that article I read from Jasper Bruce in today's Sydney Morning Herald, who quotes it was Brad Fittler at the Roosters in 2007 and Peter Sharp in 1999 at Manly are the only 2 interim coaches that have won their first 3 games in charge. Fittler appointed full-time for 2008, while Sharp, of course, then coached the Northern Eagles when they merged with North Sydney, that ill-fated marriage for a short time. So, yeah, there's form there. If you're an interim coach and you win your first 3, you might get the full-time gig.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't get the full-time gig.
Well, is that a drop ball? Yeah. Olakau'atu at the end of the set there trying to create something from Manly came up. No, it was Kohler, my apologies. It was Kohler. He's come up with a dropsy. So North Queensland have got the ball, but they're still well inside their own half. 12 from halfway on the carry, infield there from O'Donnell. Now given to the left for Labert, running laterally, Purdue, should I say, laterally and tackled. 20 from touch on the left and still 10 inside Cowboys territory. Where will the energy come from the Cowboys to get into it? Lodge with the good run into Simkin. Jake Trebojevic helps put him down. Luke out of dummy half. Here's the energy as a scoot gives it on to Clifford. Clifford's tackle, but that's a good gain. They're now only 32 out. First time Cowboys have had front football for a while. As Dearden gives it on to Hess. He stands in the tackle of Jake Trebojevic and also Paseka. Last play, centre field 20 out. Dearden runs it right. Beautiful pass for Chester. Draw and pass to the wing for Burns, who is tackled into the corner post by a brilliant one-on-one Kohler try saver. Braden Burns saw it was one-on-one, mano on mano, and Tolatau Kohler picked off a brilliant tackle. Burns tried to back his way over, but Kohler got him and chucked him over the sideline. What a try saver. Everything going right for Manly.
Yeah, and I don't know that he gave himself the best body position going into that to give himself a chance of scoring the try there. You know, certainly shaped to go out, but then come back in, present his left shoulder and get low.
Well, Lockie Coote down on the touchline as Manly get to the 40, running it up through Hopewadi. Gee, that's a brilliant fullback's play, that tackle.
That's textbook, and that's comes down to the last line of the fence, and games are won on.
Loose play here. Hetherington's made a line break over halfway. Comes to Drinkwater. Drinkwater ankle taps him. Hetherington gets up, then gets smashed from behind from the next wave of defence, led by McIntyre. Manly on the attack again to the right. Here's said man Kohler. He's got the ball in one hand, offloads it there to Simkin, running laterally across the 10. Given on to Paseka. He fends away from 2. Taniela Paseka. The ball's come free in the in-goal area. Ref was white there. Lets them play. Purdue picks it up. He's tackled. What say you, Ref Sutton? He says no try. Paseka must have lost the ball over the goal line. Had that been
looking at
planted, it was all over.
But then I've got loose carry and attempted to ground the ball.
Yeah, I can't see.
The ball is released by Jake Simpson. Colin Hess has ample opportunity to pull out of this contact. We have a penalty initially and on report. So we're playing through at this stage.
Hess on report for the late tackle. So Manly will get it back anyway.
Contact and Taniela has been cleared.
And then Clifford was there, and along with Drinkwater. He might have planted that. Clifford's knee was close.
Before the knee.
Clifford's knee was close and knocked it out. Was the ball planted simultaneously?
Oh, gee.
You know what?
Just looking to determine if Taniela maintains possession and grounds the ball.
I reckon this first shot, it shows him grounding the ball. Yep,
the ball is grounded and possession is maintained by Taniela. We have a decision.
So Paseka scores the try, and Manly look like they're going to continue this unbeaten run under interim. For the interim coach, Kieran Foran. That's a try, and Manly lead 28 points to 6. Taniela Paseka's first try of the year.
We go back to the run from Kobe Hetherington that really set up the set and really set up the opportunity. The big unit coming down through the middle, found some space, and then it really was players in motion from the Manly side that created the opportunity for a try, and it certainly was that. They just kept rolling forward, and the Manly side, you have to give them the credit for what they've managed to do with regards to creating or turning opportunities forward.
This is quite the extraordinary story unfolding in 2026 for Manly Warringah. 0-3, and the coach sacked after the round 4 loss to the Roosters at Brookvale. They went to Dolphin Oval, put 50 on the Finns, took care of the Dragons, which probably didn't get the credit it deserved down in Wollongong, such as the nature of the Dragons form, but they've gone to Dolphin Oval, Wollongong, and now Townsville. You couldn't have got much tougher for the first 3 games for a coach coming into an 0-3 rabble. Here comes Fogarty, just right of the uprights. He kicks the conversion, and Manly Warringah lead North Queensland 30 points to 6 with 14 minutes to go on this sweaty night in Townsville.
Yeah, well, there's no coming back from here, I don't believe, for the Cowboys. There's just not the energy in what they're doing. They need possession. They need football in hand and control the football to be able to get that energy and that in the possession when they've got it. And at the moment, there just is not the energy in the way they're playing that could put them in a position to take back any level of control in the game.
The most optimistic of Manly fans couldn't have dreamt this. On a night where it must be said the conditions are tricky, but they are local conditions. And the home team is being flogged as Hopewadi runs back over the 10-metre line. Manly's got the ball. Lockie Coote down on the touchline. This is some story.
It is. It's a good effort from Kieran Foran and what he's done with this Manly side over the last 3 weeks. And it's just, disappointing to see what Cowboys are producing here. Although in saying that, they scored 3 tries in 8 minutes last week, didn't they? So
holding out hope down there.
There is a bit of hope there still, but it is. It's good to see that Manly have come up here. It's a hard challenge to come up here and win in these conditions.
So end of the set of the kickoff. Kohler just got beyond halfway. Last play will take place 40 more. Little grubber and chase from Fogarty. Regathers to the 20. Jamal Fogarty has support. Passes to Brooks. That will be the end of section in Townsville. Off the kickoff, they score again. A grubber and regather from Fogarty. And Brooks is the cherry on top. This is brilliant from the Sea Eagles. And the new man who replaced the cherry puts the cherry on top tonight. Luke Brooks scores. Manly lead 34-6. If you've had a big night somewhere and just tuning in and you think you've had too many, that's the score. Manly 34, North Queensland 6 with a kick to come. And they are flogging the Cowboys.
They certainly are that. And just coming back and looking at the set, certainly for the Manly Sea Eagles, they just progressed forward, they pushed forward. There was nothing too extravagant in what they did, but they gave themselves an opportunity to go forward and to find some space. And it was 40 metres out when Fogarty grubbed the ball through for himself, picked up his halves mate Brooks, and very comfortably, as you may, scored the try. And there wasn't too much out of it other than a collective approach to play from Manly and a disconnected approach to defend from the Cowboys.
Luke Brooks now 2 tries for the year. And Manly's lead is 34-6 over a team on a 4-game winning streak, of which half of it was made up of victories over the teams that played in the grand final last year. Fogarty right of the upright, strikes with his right boot. Flags are raised. He's 6 from 7 for the night. And Manly Warringah lead 36-6. All this after Tom Trbojevic left the field with yet another hamstring injury 15 minutes into the game. This is extraordinary. Stunned silence from the locals here. Come on, boys. What do you reckon, Belly? What are we doing? Cowboys worse or Sea Eagles great? How bad the beaten? How good the winners?
I think the Cowboys have been out enthused in their own ground. I think they found themselves behind the 8 ball and then have not been able to get the energy back in to what they're doing playing wise. And the Manly Sea Eagles, well, they've got into the game, they've stayed in the game, and they've hung in, and they've made the most of their little moments.
So restart was a shortish attempt, went 20 on the fly. Manly's got it back. Play 2, Clayton Falolo tackled, 12 from the halfway line. Manly, by the way, when they do go back to Brookvale, which is next week, they've got old rivals Parramatta. You reckon they'll be humming out at Brookie when Para come to town, as Foz, who took the rabble at 0-3, brings them back to Brookie at 3-3. Amazing. Out on the edge here is Fogarty, and he's tackled 15 inside, right touch, and 33 metres out. Last play for Manly here. There's 10.5 minutes left in the game. Brooks puts up a bomb, pretty shallow. It's going to come down about 20 metres out. Left that and caught well out there by Labor of the Cowboys, and he steps off the mark. Paul in Wollongong texts, Q, not surprised at all. Happy for Foz and the Eagles team. Yes, I'm the Manly fan for 60 years. Where were you for the first 20? What is it, their 80th year this year? Yeah. That's right. Good on you, Paul. 0-4-6-7.
Give him a chance.
Well, exactly. Tamalolo to the 20.
Tough score.
Oh, no, just... Burns is now in the centre of the field. Brooks wraps him up with Ben Trbojevic. So repeating, Jake Trbojevic went off for an HIA in the first half, but he's been cleared to return, so that's good news. It looked like a double blow for Turbo and Gerbo at one stage, but Gerbo back out there is Dearden on a run. Cowboys almost to halfway. Last play, they decide to run it blindside. Chester loses the ball on the squeezing tackle made there by the enthusiastic pairing of Hopewadi and Waddell, and the mess is cleaned up by Simpkin, who jumps on it, and Manly have got the ball a dozen inside their own half.
Lachlan, if I threw you back into fullback there, what sort of message would you give to the players in front of you?
It's a bit too far gone now at the moment, I think. But, I think
in terms of finishing, they've got 10 minutes to finish the game.
Hold on, Manly might have more points in them here. Hold that thought. Garrick on a right side shift, 45 out. Played to Fogarty. Gives it on to Olakauatu. I tried the flick pass, a bit Hollywood there. Misses Saab over the touchline, as you were.
I think.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Took a Cowboys touch, so Manly's going to get another go here from 30 metres out.
I think just going back to your question, Billy, it's just going back to the basics. And obviously this game's gone for now at the moment, but making sure that they get back to the basics and they know what works and move into next week.
Paseka tackle 25 metres out. Manly on the rumble to the northern end once more. Waddell next carry just left of the ruck. He's taken 15 from the goal line, just left of the upright. Simpkin swings it right for Fogarty. Shows it, gives it to the edge for Olakauatu. Tackled off his kick. It's been picked picked up by the Cowboys. Not a speedster, though. It's McIntyre who got it, and immediately
running in deep water.
Having run 10 metres, Belly was looking around for his support and got tackled. Over halfway on the left edge runner, Purdue gives it on there to Labert. Labert's tackled. Cowboys on the attack, though. Out of the left and 40 out. Boy, there's some tired footballers out there. Drinkwater long pass to Dearden. Gives it to the right edge for Chester. Can't get through the tackle of Falalo, who drags him to deck. And Clayton Falalo there to make the tackle. Cowboys play at 35 out. Tamalolo runs at the line, pops it to Clifford. Good tackle, Olakauatu. Puts him down 25 out. Now stepping and weaving out of dummy half is Luke. Passes to Cotter. Cotter looks infield. No support as he had an arm free for an offload. Great tackle, Jake Trbojevic on the goal line. Pass to the left. Crash ball line run from Clifford. Is that his job? He went for it anyway. He gets stopped the metre out. Last play, North Queensland. Sweeping ball to Drinkwater. He keeps it through the hands to the right. Dearden's ball onto Lukey. Lukey taken down around the ankles by Falalo and up top by Ben Trbojevic. Manly's goal line defence is good again. Cowboys die with the ball on the last, and it's a handover. And with 7 minutes to go, Manly will win this game. And in doing so, Kieran Foran will join Brad Fittler at the Roosters in 2007 and Peter Sharp at Manly in 99 as the only other interim coaches in the NRL era to have won their first 3 games in charge. And Asterix, both Fittler and Sharp kept the job full-time next year. I'll wait to see what happens with it. Kieran Foran was playing footy for the Gold Coast Titans only 6 months ago. He's literally just walked from a playing career into this mess at Brookvale. And look what he's doing. Manly up to halfway. Brooks is going to kick downfield at the end of the set. Well, it's just not him. It's the backroom staff and the players themselves. But, boy, as the man conducting the orchestra, they were tone deaf, let alone flat and out of tune. But now he has got them humming the most beautiful of rugby league symphonies. 3 in a row on the road. Can't do better than that. Now Drinkwater's got it. And boy, won't he be a topic of conversation tonight. He's kept trying, though. He's made a few blunders, but due to the right for Dearden. Gives the pass to Chester. Up to the 40 on a little line break, but Hopewadi drags him down. Mind you, Drinkwater's had about 16 other mates who haven't had great nights tonight. Dearden runs the right edge for the Cowboys. Brooks is there to make the tackle. And Dearden has put down 5 in from touch on the right. And 30 metres from Manly's line. 5.5 minutes for the Cowboys to get a little bit of pride out of this as Purdue runs infield. Tackle with the left hand offload out the back to Tom Malolo. Keeps it moving to the left. Clifford gets it onto O'Donnell, but Garrick's there to wrap him up and drive him into the deck on the red stripe of the 20. Just looking to Kieran Foran as well. He's up and out of his chair, as enthusiastic as ever for this defensive set. When they're 36-6 up, that probably says more than anything. He's standing up, Foz, and he's got his hands on his shoulder, on his hips as Dearden kicks for the in-goal area. Hopewadi sees it dead. And Foran's there, this is just to be at this point here and see the part of this story, Billy. He's more enthusiastic there, coaching, sort of riding their defensive effort, and they're 36-6 up, Foz. You're okay, they're going to win. And there's only 4.5 minutes left.
And certainly there again, the roll of the ball was just a couple of rolls too much for Tommy Chester, who was finishing through. He's got tremendous speed. He hasn't had the best of nights tonight, but there's plenty of encouraging sign.
60 on the fly from the dropout. Tamalolo's rumbling back at him though. That was good fun to watch. Charges into the tackle of Wakeham, who did his bit. Good stop there. Had a couple of helpers in Paseka and Ben Trbojevic. Tamalolo plays at 35 out. Now Hess down the middle third. Got an offload. Nice pick up on the half volley Drinkwater, but the referee says penalty to Manly. What for? Oh, Sonny Luku was in front of the play the ball, offside.
Yeah.
From the gear steward at Kalinga, who tries with a few lines every now and then. How's this one? You can lead a cow to water, but you can't make them drink. Not bad. 0467920222. Stick around. Your text will get Lockie Coots interviews as well. With 3.5 minutes left in this one. And Fogarty kicks for touch. Finds it. Belinda Sharp raises her touchies flag, just attacking side of halfway at the northern end. So Manly back to Brookvale and play Parramatta next week. The Cowboys stay in Townsville and they'll greet the Sharks next week as Brooks passes for an infield run of Ben Trebojevic. Tommy won't be there for a while though. He's been hamstrung again. Not quite sure how long. That news will no doubt filter through in the next day or two. Simpkin passes left for Paseka up to the 30. Offload with 3 around him. Penalty goes to Manly. High tackle there. It was a loose offload from Paseka. High tackle from Cotter, I'd suggest. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
On the line there, Jamal.
So 0-3 with 3 home games at Brookvale. Beaten by Canberra, beaten by Newcastle, beaten by the Roosters. Coach sacked, 0-3. Go to Dolphin Oval, win, 52-18. Go to Wollongong, win, 28-18. Go to Townsville on a team against a team who's won their last 4 in a row, including beating the Premiers last week, and they are 36-6 up. And off that high tackle penalty, Jamal Fogarty says, "We've done our work. Yep, let's take the 2 points."
Who have you liked tonight, Lockie?
Well, I think the halves from Manly, Fogarty and Brooks, they've controlled this game really well.
Controlled the game well,
yeah.
Particularly Fogarty, I think.
Hetherington as well. He's been awesome on his second stint.
His metres run at his second stint are second to none. He's ploughed his way down the field.
Got to give Kohler a rap.
And Kohler, I think, of the outside backs. I'm just being cautious, although we haven't got Zane listening on tonight, I don't think, because he roused me last game for giving points to fullbacks and outside backs.
I'll tell you what Zane's doing right now. As Fogarty kicks for penalty goal, and he kicks the 2 points.
He's crying because
38-6 the scoreline. No, as usual, Collingwood's now in front. Carlton led to half-time. Collingwood's now got to the lead, so I reckon he's ditched the Cowboys, Zane, to go and watch Collingwood, because what happens to Carlton? They just fall over in the second half.
Yes.
Anyway, Fogarty has kicked 7 from 8, and Manly Warringah lead 38-6. They have scored the last 28 points in the game.
Yeah.
Shortish restart, but Manly come up with it. Kick went 15.
Cowboys knocked it back to Ben Trebojevic, who's been another player who I think's played really well out there tonight. He's just contributed defensively. And it's interesting, that left edge of Manly, whenever Tom Chester has looked to be making a break, and Luke, he's had a fair bit to shut down out there. I think he and Luke Brooks have been pretty efficient defensively.
Work out together.
50 seconds left in Townsville. Olakauatu there, in fact, make it Kohler who plays that ball on halfway. Right edge for Paseka, and he's tackled 45 metres from the Cowboys line. Who's to say that they won't go for something else here, Manly? But everyone looks pretty tired on what's been an energy-sapping night of high humidity and high drama, as it turns out. Waddell tackled right edge. 35 metres from the line that the Cowboys are defending. Blindside given to Garrick, who tries to kick for touch. Oh, mishandled there for a moment by the Cowboys. But in the end, it's worked out with Labert fumbling but getting it back. Handing it to Drinkwater. Drinkwater gives back to Labert. And the time will count down. The fantastic Foran and his boys from Brookvale have turned around a season in stunning fashion. Not just once, but twice, but thrice. Under the interim guise of Kieran Foran, have Manly Warringah reconstructed the rubble of a season, and they are now at par. 3 wins, 3 losses. They have flogged North Queensland. The Cowboys' 4-game winning streak not just knocked off, blown off, 38-6. Stunning storyline in Townsville, and they've done it again with superstar fullback Tom Trebojevic in the sheds, icing another hamstring injury. He lasted only 15 minutes. But Manly led 22-6 at half-time and win the game 38-6 in the end, scoring 6 tries to 1. Hopewadi with the double. Benro BK15, Wakeham, Paseka and Brooks also scoring tries. Fogarty kicked 7 goals from 8 attempts, while for North Queensland their only points came through a Cohen-Hess try, which was converted by Jake Clifford 23 minutes into the game. Which side of the fence do you want to look at? We'll look at both. What are your thoughts? 0467 920 222. Well, the building optimism in the north has been absolutely pummeled tonight. And can you scarcely believe it, but just the 3rd time in the NRL era an interim coach has won his first 3 games. Kieran Foran joins the likes of Peter Sharp and Brad Fittler as blokes who have taken on the job after a coach was sacked and won their first 3.
Well, the most asked question leading into the game was, will the shine fall off, this new restart for the Manly Seagulls? Well, it certainly hasn't tonight. They've certainly found themselves in a position of real strength as we try to look down for Lockie.
Go for it, Lockie.
Hey, Jake. How you going, mate? How you feeling after that? Great game out there tonight. How you feeling there?
Stoked, mate. It was tough. It was really tough, tough conditions. It was quite humid, and really turned up and sort of built on our last couple of weeks. Like, Cowboys are playing some great footy coming in, so knew we had to play really well, and it was a really good controlled field possession game, like we didn't cough up much ball and stuff, and it was a really good game.
That's 3 on the trot now. How are you feeling? What do you feel that Kieran Foran's done for you guys?
Oh, look, I think the biggest thing that bloke brings is just his presence, brings passion, competitiveness, just he's the ultimate competitor, you know what I mean? I'm lucky enough I got to play alongside him, so I know what he's about, and it's rubbing off on the boys. So it's been a great first 3 weeks, but we want to keep building on it. We want to do we don't want this season to be a waste, so it's been really nice to get back into the competition.
Yeah, mate. You copped a bit of a head knock down there early in the first half. How's that now?
Yeah, good. Keep getting head knocks, not on the headgear. I'm protecting the whole head, but I'm hitting the other bits. Anyway, all good. I'll pass the HIA, which is good.
It's good to see you run a form, mate. Thanks for stopping him.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Lockie Coote down with Jake Trbojevic. That was a scary moment as well when we were just settling on the news of Tom off the field with his hamstring, to see Jake go off a HIA, considering his history of issues with head knocks. But, sounds great there, and he was able to play out the game, and that's another reason for Manly fans to smile. They must think that this is a dream. When they left Brookvale after round 4 and the Roosters winning 33-16, they would have thought, what a waste. And we're only 3 weeks in, but things have changed. Let's get back down to Lockie Coote.
Down here at the moment with Scott Drinkwater. Mate, how do you feel after that one? Obviously disappointed.
It's disappointing that we had to go out there and play footy for 80 minutes and toss up that with the footy in there. We were terrible. Our error rate was so high, and made our big fellas tackle too much, and we got too loose. And you give a big team like that too much possession, they're going to fall through the line pretty easily. And they rolled down the field pretty easy towards the end. We were very tired.
It's obviously disappointing, but obviously you've had a good run at the moment. Do you find what did you find that run due to? What has Toddy done at the moment?
Yeah, we'll start really well and going after the game, going off contest with our contact and our physicality. Probably didn't do that tonight at the start, and the first 2 games what we did and we lost, and tonight was probably no different to those first 2. We lost that physicality at the start, and then the game went from there, and we got put on too much pressure and then come up with cheap errors. So look, it's disappointing, but plenty more footy to play and so much to work on and fix up. And look, we've got a bit of longer turnaround now, so hopefully get a few days off and rest up and get ready to get stuff back into it.
Yeah, I'll let you go, mate. Congrats on the 150th too.
Cheers, Cootie. Cheers, mate.
Good on you, Lockie. We'll stay close. Lachlan Coote at ground level, getting the reaction from Manly's 38-6 victory. So the Cowboys are 4 wins, 3 losses, and we'll play Cronulla Sutherland here. And that game is... When's that game? That's next... Yeah, so that's the 6 o'clock game. I won't be here because I'll be at Lang Park, one of those weird Fridays where we've got Townsville at 6 and then Brisbane at 8. So that's the 6 o'clock game next week. Cowboys against the Sharks, while Manly are at home against Parramatta. And you reckon that they'll be making noise at Brookvale. Getting to see the Eels are a bit vulnerable at the moment. The old rivalry from the 80s coming back.
The Eels very shaky.
Yeah.
And Manly will be feeling confident, but as you say, landing back at home.
Well, the last time they were there, they thought a season had gone after only 3 games.
Yep.
Amazing. Amazing.
Well, you wonder whether I would doubt that the players felt that. I think Lockie might have somebody else down there.
I'm down here at the moment.
Okay, let's get back to Lockie.
Down here with Helam, Luke. How you going, Helam? How was that? Obviously disappointed with that loss, mate, but how you feeling? How do you feel you're going to bounce back from that?
Yeah, obviously it was a tough loss. I think we just sort of regroup, do our review, focus on what we need to focus on, get stuck into our training next week, and get a few reps under our belt heading into Sharks next week.
Yeah, definitely. It didn't look like you were playing the style of footy, and I guess probably due to the errors. That would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think on the back of errors, it's hard taking steam out of your middles after they've just tackled their hearts out. So I think we need to clean up a lot of our errors, especially coming out of yardage. And I think we'll be able to play a lot better footy on the back of that.
Mate, it's great to see you back out in the field. Obviously, injuries are good at the moment. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, body's feeling really good at the moment, definitely. A little bit sore actually after a few short turnarounds, but I think we've got a long turnaround heading into the Sharks this week, so I'm looking forward to a bit of rest.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Go enjoy the crowd, mate. Thank you.
Just while you're looking around for others out there, Lachlan, the Cowboys, I think the last 3 games have all been 6-day build-ups. So they've all been just short build-up. How does that affect your own build-up? And is there accumulation that could perhaps lead into some of the performances tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could probably sense that, a bit of fatigue there. They had a bit of a fight in them back in the fight during that game, but towards the back end they obviously lost their steam. And Lukey's just touched on it. Then his body's feeling a bit sore, so hopefully they get that. They've got that long turnaround now, so it definitely helped.
Well, that being said, so Manly, after the Dolphins game, that was a Thursday night, they played St George Illawarra. Was that a Friday game? Just double checking. I think you're clutching at straws to look at short turnarounds when the scoreline was 38-6. I mean, they didn't get picked after 3 short turnarounds, 28-24 on a really oppressive night. They got flogged.
Yeah.
They got flogged. I appreciate that there are different factors, but I don't think Manly's had much more rest.
No, and I'm just wondering, I'm not looking for excuses for the Cowboys, but certainly they're...
No, we're looking for reasons. I know what you're saying.
But looking for reasons behind a performance when going into the game, people were saying, hang on, the Cowboys have turned a corner and they're looking pretty sharp. They've come up with wins against the likes of Melbourne, who, albeit haven't been playing great, and against last year's premiers. Something leaves you looking fairly flat, and they look flat from the outset, I thought.
Yeah, that's a good point. 38-6, Manly's defeated the Cowboys. By the way, mid-final quarter in the AFL, Collingwood lead Carlton by 7 points. The Magpies 11-10, 76 to the Blues 10-9, 69. So, yet again, Carlton in front at half-time, but look like they're getting overrun there. What a story here, confirming that just the 3rd time in the NRL era that an interim coach has won 3 games on the bounce to start his tenure. Kieran Foran emulating Manly's Peter Sharp in 1999 and the Roosters' Brad Fittler in 2007, and both of those men got the job full-time.
Has the coach popped out there at all, Lachlan, or has he stayed in?
Haven't seen him yet, but I'm sneaking up on Luke Brooks here to try and get something out of him. So,
well, have you got your votes? Have you got your votes ready, Belly, as well? Because we will have to get to those as well. On the text, here's a good one from Glen Ray in Ballina. He says, cancer can kill. A superb and precision operation saved our club, and Foz is the antidote to remission. Go Manly. Good call, lads. Thank you from Glen Ray in Ballina. 0467920222. And Pete and Ryde quite rightly points out, Kieran Foran is less than half the age of Wayne Bennett. I think it's probably, well, it tells two stories. One, how fresh Foz is, and two, how long the Supercoach has been around. G'day to Manly man Al from Lake Jellicoe. He says, I'd say anyone thinking of applying for Kieran's job better focus on St George of the Cowboys. I can't see the position at Manly being advertised in the near future. Go you good things from the Manly man out at Tullabajil Lakes United Territory.
Yeah, definitely.
Out at Lake Jellicoe.
And I've lost sight of our fullback down there.
That's all right. We've got
time for more, or
no? We better wrap it up here, Locke.
No worries, mate.
Thank you. Come upstairs.
Been great.
If you're a lorry spooner, I'd send you over to the far corner to catch up with Jamal Fogarty, because when we look at the 3-2-1 Quentin Hull,
I want your votes. Does he feature?
3 points to Jamal Fogarty.
Well, it was always going to take a while for him to settle in.
Yeah, and I thought he's had his best game for the club. I thought he organised well. I thought he kicked well, and he was in around just about everything that happened for his side tonight. And I think he had a terrific game. There was a couple of good forwards there. I ended up giving 2 points to Kobe Hetherington on the back of his second half. I thought Manly really held fort really strongly in the second half there and pushed through towards the end, and I think he was a key part of it. And 1 point went to Kohler, who I thought was just he was absolutely amazing. And Terry Kohler, his meters run, his involvement from fullback, it wasn't where he started the game, it was certainly where he finished the game, and he went very well. And I'd certainly give mention to Ben Trebojevic, to Luke Brooks, and I think for the Cowboys, Chase Taumalolo and Thomas McCauley and Tom Dearden all worked very hard.
So 3 goes to Fogarty, 2 to Hetherington and 1 to Kohler. The votes from Grant Bell as Manly Warringah beat North Queensland 38-6. Manly's season legend now at 3-3 ahead of welcoming Parramatta next week. The Cowboys are 4-3 ahead of a Friday night game against Cronulla Sutherland. I think in the lead-in, Grant, I said we're going to have one false dawn exposed tonight.
Yes.
I didn't think it would be as
stark
as that.
No, I never thought it is.
Are we going false dawn for the Cowboys? Hard not to after that.
I think we are. And I certainly have got to say that I still hold concerns for the Cowboys and have held them, albeit I think, a couple of wins on the back and back-to-back against perhaps teams that haven't been flying at their best. And I just wonder that a collection of a range of things haven't surmounted to performance. And as I said, I'm looking at a game where they weren't on their best right from the outset. I didn't think their enthusiasm was there. I didn't think the busyness that we've seen in the last couple of games were there. I thought they looked tired and heavy in their legs, and I think that carried through into the game. And when you're feeling like that, the errors tend to mount, and they mounted on the Cowboys tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think from my perspective, a neutral's perspective, from looking at North Queensland, I could sense as soon as I stepped off the plane, I thought, Manly's going to get tested tonight. He said one of those, you're walking down the street and you need a cap and swimming goggles because it's that thick. The air was that thick.
Yeah, it was very thick.
And you think that's usually where the teams come to this part of the world, and even if they're in form, they struggle because of the conditions. Well, neither team could hold the ball much early on, but then the visiting team had more in the tank and made the better of the conditions. That's probably the galling part. I'll get on the plane tomorrow thinking, well, boy, that's the one really impressive thing about Manly. They played the footy game the way the footy game needed to be played, and they took whatever came at them.
And I didn't feature Jake Trebojevic in the votes, but he's certainly an emotional heart and an emotional part of them as a team. And I think tonight out there were so many times when he was the person who led the kick chase. He was the player who was there to put the work in, to put the effort in. He really provided something and provided that leadership and that physical leadership when his brother went off to take his team forward.
So Manly win it 38-6. Fogarty gets the 3, 2 to Hetherington, 1 to Kohler, with further news to come on the seriousness of Tom Trebojevich's hamstring injury. Just before we wrap things up, a quick look at tomorrow night's games. The pre-game show on air from 5:30, and then the first game comes from Canberra, the team that's finished 1 and 2 on the premiership standings last year, but are having different fortunes to start 2026. Canberra versus Melbourne at Canberra Stadium tomorrow, before the 8 o'clock game, which is 7:30 local time in Darwin. The Dolphins taking on Penrith. Dolphins having an extra week to lick their wounds after their own spanking at the
they'll be
hands of
looking
Manly.
to try and find themselves again, because they
Penrith, of course, losing last week.
Yeah, they started the season well, and gee, you don't really want Penrith on the rebound.
Billy, it's always a pleasure to see you. Great to see you back up and about. Well done, Lock. Oh, yeah, it's back. Good on you, Lockie.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Back in the box, Lachlan Coote on debut, down on the sideline. And can I say, there's just sort of a hint about your sound and delivery that's all in the spirit of the great El Spina. You've got all of our listeners just thinking we've got, you know, one classy, quietly spoken North Queenslander, and we've got another in there. So good on you,
thanks, mate. I don't think I did him justice, but I did my best.
No, it was terrific. Thanks to Brendan on the faders and to Nelly back in the studio. If you want some more sport, Collingwood 7 points in front with 5.5 minutes to go in that AFL game at the MCG. You can hear it on ABC Listen. But here, Manly back to level terms in their season. 3 wins in a row under fantastic Foran. Hope you enjoyed the footy in Townsville. Way to Wakeham, past left Brooks, dummies and straightens, got past one, passes to the edge, and an easy try for Hopewadi in the left corner for Manly. And the Seagulls strike first in Townsville. On the run there of Hopewadi, almost to halfway. Now Trebojevic, 5 metres attacking side of halfway when tackled. That's Tom, and watch out, that left leg is no good. Oh, not again for Tommy Turbo. And immediately the Manly players are signalling to the bench that Trebojevic may have done yet another injury to those legs, which are so good when they're fit, yet so often fail him. Only a couple of metres from the goal line, out on the left. Last play coming up blindside. Wakeham to Brooks, pass to Falolo, pass to the edge, catch and touchdown for Hopewadi for a double. Easy as you like. Let the ball do the work. Slick hands to the left edge, and Lehigh Hopewadi was basically standing on the goal line. Only need to catch it and touchdown, and that he has done. Cotter backs his way to the defence, takes the tackle of 15 out, pass to the right now, Dearden at the line, puts Hess through a hole. He slips through a couple of tackles, and the big boy from Bundy goes in for the Cowboys' first try of the night. Simpkin out a dummy half, tries to crash through. He can't, he's a metre from the goal line. Played to Wakeham, pass left and centre field. Fogarty, grubber for the in-goal. Area Ben Trebojevic scores. He's on the end of it. Oh, what a story rugby league can bring you at times. Tom off hamstrung, Jake off concussed potentially, but Ben scores. Family Trebojevic is having quite the time in Townsville. Plays it on 5, 42 metres out, last play for Manly. Fogarty puts up a bomb for the Seagulls. It's right edge and Drinkwater mises it up. Gifts Hopewadi a hat-trick. Oh, Hopewadi didn't plant the ball. He passes it to Wakeham to score. The last play will take place 40 more. Lil Grubber and chase from Fogarty. Regathers to the 20. Jamal Fogarty has support. Passes to Brooks. That will be the end of section in Townsville. Off the kickoff, they score again. A grubber and regather from Fogarty. And Brooks is the cherry on top. This is brilliant from the Sea Eagles. And the time will count down. The fantastic Foran and his boys from Brookvale have turned around a season in stunning fashion. Not just once, but twice, but thrice. Under the interim guise of Kieran Foran, have Manly Warringah reconstructed the rubble of a season, and they are now at par. 3 wins, 3 losses. They have flogged North Queensland. The Cowboys' 4-game winning streak not just knocked off, blown off. 38 points to 6.
ABC News, good Good evening, I'm William Howard Evans. Experts say it's unlikely there'll be nationwide impacts from a major blaze at a Victorian oil refinery, despite a reduction in fuel production at the plant. Andy Yu has the latest.
The major blaze forced the evacuation of the Geelong oil refinery last night and took firefighters about 12 hours to extinguish. Despite that, Refinery General Manager Bill Patterson says the site is still producing fuel, but at a reduced rate.
It hasn't been a very large impact at this stage.
The plant supplies half of Victoria's fuel and about 10% of the nation's. ANU supply chain expert David Leaney expects the impacts to be isolated to Victoria.
The impact nationally is not much at all. A little bit of a push-up in petrol prices in Victoria may spill over the borders a little bit.
Full damage assessments will be undertaken when the site is declared safe.
Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers says Australia